Because of the following special program, Mr. Merlin will not be presented this evening.
Please support the Word Balloon podcast by going to patreon.com/wordballoon. Become a part of the League of Word Balloon listeners. That's patreon.com/wordballoon. Welcome back, everybody. It's time again for another Trek Watch, although not too much Star Trek talk, I think, tonight. There's a lot of other things to talk about. You know, we're really heading into a great streaming and film period with a lot of shows getting started. And, God, we're only a couple weeks away from Daredevil on Netflix, and we got Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man that we can certainly talk about. But tonight, as you can tell by some of our costumed and otherwise accoutramented guest hosts, we are talking about Captain America, Brave New World, the brand new Marvel movie that premiered last Friday, and very excited about it all. And I've got the poster. There's the poster. There we go. And but it's good to see Franco and Wayne and Mitch and talk about this. And Mitch even took that extra step to dress the part tonight. Good to see you, Citizen.
This is what I normally wear at night, walking around the house.
Every now and then, you just surprise Sharon. Here you go. Hey, how you doing?
Oh, I do.
Right.
All right.
If the shield is on the doorknob, don't bother knocking.
That's right. You better yield to this shield, baby.
There you go. And Wayne has the commemorative popcorn helmet.
Yeah, popcorn helmet that I picked up for Mitch.
Double bag.
Has a. I gotta find the.
I'm disappointed that they didn't make it big enough that you can wear it. That's upsetting.
Oh, does it talk?
No, it lights up.
It doesn't talk.
It lights up.
It lights up.
I thought it talked.
Yeah.
Where it would say, despite the helmet, it really is Captain America. I know I look like Ant-Man.
Hey, go. There we go.
Yeah. Well, it's at high altitude.
That's it, eh?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. First of all, round the horn, and I'm gonna shock you guys. I liked it enough. I've got a couple issues.
Jesus.
But I actually shut up. But I liked it enough. Feel free now, around the horn. First impressions.
I enjoyed it. It was fun. Yeah, I have issues with it that I'm sure we'll get into, but initial is yes, I liked it. And if it goes around the horn and everybody likes it, we should just end the podcast there. Because
there's stuff to talk about. No, wrong. Yeah, exactly. I know you're teasing, but no, there's stuff to tal'k about. So go ahead, Mitch. What'd you think?
I liked it, and in fact, I've seen it twice already because I went with my kid in the city, yes, New York City, because he wanted to see it. So I went with Franco and Ordway on Thursday, and then I went yesterday, and I liked it better the second time because when you go to these movies the first time, your head's full of all the things you saw in the trailers, and you're like, when's this going to happen? When's that going to happen? And then you realize that sometimes they mislead you with the trailers. So then I could watch the second viewing and know that, well, this is not going to happen. This is there. So I liked it more the second time. So, yes, It's a good movie. So it's not greatest. It's not Winter Soldier, which is the number one movie in Marvel, in my opinion. But it's good. It's enjoyable. So you go.
Wayne?
I thought I liked it a lot because to me it felt like Winter Soldier. It was a political drama. It wasn't your typical superhero movie, really. It dealt more with the politics aspects, and I preferred that. And I think Cap works a lot better with when it gets into the politics versus a superhero.
Well, all right. Now longer answers. I felt like, first of all the actors did great with what they had. And I am kind of disappointed that given that they were really dealing with three different stories, that they overcomplicated this movie. And I would have liked to have seen more time dedicated to a lot of these other stories from both Harrison Ford as President Ross and the callbacks to Incredible Hulk that clearly are throughout this movie, and that deserved more time. The Red Hulk looked fine, but that said, I really felt it was and especially given how much they made a big deal out of it with the trailers, it had that monster kind of moment, fine, but I really don't think it was necessary. The guy who got short shrifted the most, though, is, and I look forward to Mitch's follow-up to this, the great Carl Lumbly as Isaiah Bradley, as it's retconned, because, man, that story by Robert Morales and Kyle Baker, thank you, Truth. Great story about the first Captain America. They kind of retconned it that he was a Captain America during the Korean War, but had that Tuskegee experiments subjected to him, and in captivity for all those years, which I think is that's a rich story that they really just glossed over. And further, they really blew it because they could have had him and Sam and New Falcon as this trio attacking whatever was happening. And then the other guy that got short shrifted, I thought, was Giancarlo Esposito as Sidewinder. And that's too bad because he's, we love him in The Boys. He's excellent in everything he does. But again, 3 stories like this, and not to mention the little Israeli Mossad turned superhero person that I'll talk about later. But to me, they overcomplicated the story. So we got a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And again, it was okay. It was decent. Certainly better than a lot of the lately Marvel movies and stuff. I just think it could have been better. And forgive me, Wayne, because I love Winter Soldier and Mitch. I think it could have been smarter. And it's very basic. And it's a poor man's Winter Soldier. It's a poor man's the other films that they were kind of aping throughout this. That's me. Jump ball, if somebody wants to argue or.
I thought it's.
I froze.
There were a lot
Mitch, Francis, start over again because you froze for a second.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean.
No problem. That's okay.
You're winter freezing.
It's very cold. The other night we were discussing it with Mitch and Jerry, and I felt that it was kind of choppy. Like there were pieces that were filmed and maybe taken out, and we read about all the reshoots that it did. One thing, I think, Mitch, you brought this up, that all of Sidewinder, Giancarlo Esposito's scenes were only with Howard Mackie and no one else. So
Anthony Mackie.
Howard, the editor at Marvel.
The Spider-Man writer, exactly.
Yeah. Right, with Anthony Mackie and there was the Red Room person, I forget her name.
Ruth.
She was.
Oh, the little person.
Yeah, she was supposed to be like the Israeli hero, right?
Right.
Yes.
They redid all that and
yes.
stuff. But I think that they did a good job piecing it together after that, even with all that the story was you could follow it and you could understand it.
You could follow it, sure.
Could it have been better? I agree, yeah, but overall, I'm like, oh, they got one. They stuck the landing sort of with what they had to do.
Wayne, Mitch, any thoughts on what I or Francis have already said?
I'll let Mitch go.
Well, I was after the movie was over, I was like, hey, where's that scene at Arlington? Oh, are we doing spoilers, by the way?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. I was going to say, if you haven't seen the movie, because I saw somebody asking about, do you need to see Hulk? Yeah, there's a lot of Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton that you should watch before you see this, because there's a lot of backstory. But anyway, so there's a scene in the trailer of a military funeral, like at Arlington, and you see the 21 gun salute, and that's not in the movie at all. And I was like, wait a minute, what was that? And then I'm thinking, was that maybe Harrison Ford was going to get killed, or Carl Lumbly's character was going to die, and they were doing a military funeral? But none of that's in the movie, so don't worry about it anymore. And then what freaked me out is I started seeing all the early product tie-ins, like the toys for the leader. By the way, spoiler, he's in the movie. Yeah. And he's got the famous long head. And I'm like, well, how are you going to hide that guy? You can't put a hat on because you got this big phallically looking head. But they even made the little, what do you call them, Funko Pops. They made some other toys with them with the long traditional leader head. And then when you see the movie, he's got the brain one that John Byrne kind of came out with that was more of a...
Looks like brain acne. It's like
Yeah.
brain acne or
Yeah,
whatever. Ooh.
yeah.
I
And
like
it was
I like that shorthand leader head. I like it.
yeah, it's like the what do you call it? Mars Attacks head. And
Yes,
the thing of it is,
very
I'm
much so.
like, if you look at the movie, there's scenes where there's almost like a weird blue screen around. I go, I wonder if they went in there and digitally fixed his head or something because they didn't like the look or wasn't gross enough. And the
Question.
Giancarlo thing, I noticed because, real quick, I was just telling Franco, I was like, wait a minute. Every scene he's with is with Mackie. There's like nobody else in the movie. They're in a tunnel. They're in a junkyard. I go, wait a second. There was a toy with this other character called Diamondback that they accidentally released when the movie was supposed to be out last May, and then they pulled an audible and said, "Oh no, it's coming out next February." But it was too late. They had already shipped a bunch of Happy Meal toys. This character's not even in the movie. The actress that played her, I hope she got paid. But the fact that they made toys and then they didn't put her in the movie, I'm like, what was that all about? So that weird behind the scenes stuff bugs me when I go to see these movies because I'm thinking, what was the story originally, and what did they chop out of it? Because it's still fine, it's still coherent, but
I thought so
there
too.
a better story in there? Or are we just never going to see it? I mean, what
Hey, Mitch,
happened?
on second viewing, you said, did you see like the weird, like
Yeah,
the leader missing?
The weird what? Well, no,
The
you're saying
weird-
yes, but he hasn't explained to me. He hasn't
Right,
explained
but
what he
weird
means.
head,
It's just weird.
There's a weird
Like-
glow,
Yeah.
like around his head, like they digitally went in.
Who's
the
who's
scene
that?
where the leader's
The leader.
head, where he confronts
on.
when he confronts Sam Wilson at the very end. He's
Yeah,
in
yeah,
like
okay.
the courtyard of the hospital, and again, that guy's by himself with nobody behind him, and it's just a building. And there's like, well, would there be people walking around a hospital courtyard? But you could see, it's almost like they digitally went in there and they screwed around with his brain or his head to make it look small. And then when Anthony Mackie's talking to Giancarlo in the tunnel there, the lighting's off. Like there's something going on. Like it's a blue screen behind him. I'm like, did they go and film this like in a back alleyway, like a week before the movie or something? But that stuff bugs me,
The only thing I'd say, Mitch, is sorry, Wayne, because I do still want to
No, go ahead.
real fast regarding. Do you need to see the Incredible Hulk movie? It'd be nice, but I think they explain it enough
In those
throughout the movie.
flashbacks. Yeah.
Yeah, and also Harrison Ford talking and everything.
Yeah.
So go ahead,
Yeah.
Wayne. What's your general so far?
My general, I thought it was okay when they did the audible to change the Israeli character from the superhero into a Black Widow. I have no problem with her size because if she was a Black Widow, she'd be a trained assassin. She would be able to take out people bigger than her. There's no reason that you can complain about that. And the comparison I would make is to her to Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was not a big guy.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Wayne. He's bigger than that. Sorry,
But-
you're thinking of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where they made the Bruce Lee actor look that much smaller. Bruce Lee was hold on. Bruce Lee was the size of a boxing middleweight. This was a tiny person. Keep
How
going.
tall is
Sorry.
she?
I don't
Bruce
know.
Lee was
Look it up.
5'7".
Huh?
That's yeah. This woman is barely 5 feet tall. Give me a
But
break.
again,
Wayne.
John,
Give
if she's
me
a
a
Black
break.
Widow and she's a trained assassin, you would learn to take out people bigger than you are, and it's not an issue. I had no issues with her size and with her being a Black Widow. I think she would easily take out guys because if you got through the Red Room and you passed all the tests, you are a kick-ass person, regardless of what size you are. You would use that to an advantage. However, her fighting styles would be to her size to take out larger people.
Florence Pugh's not that big either. I think she's like 5'1", and so Scarlett ScarJo's like 5'3". She's not big.
So the Red Room has a height requirement.
Three things. First of all, Florence Pugh and Scarlett have much more charisma and personality.
Oh, we're talking physical height.
This person, hold on. This person, because I agree with Wayne that it is possible that someone that small could be very effective. Then most of her stuff was either on the cutting room floor, and what they left nothing. And also, I'm sorry, this smacks. And God, again, I'm a liberal and I'm all for inclusion, but let's put a little person in there. Wouldn't that be nice?
No, I don't
in the
think
same hold on in the same way that Doctor Who has a little person as well. I saw nothing of this person, and also, my God. And yeah, you're right. She's supposed to be Sabra and everything. And I guess there is one scene that we kind of see her in an action suit of some sort.
She does on this ship. I said that to Franco when she's on the battleship at that fight at the big hand thing. She's got like a trench coat on, but underneath she's got that armor stuff, just like Captain America. And I go, hey, why
Sure.
is she wearing a super suit? And they go, oh, she was, Sabra. I go, well, you don't know that because they don't say that in the movie, but
That's right.
they must have had scenes where she's beating people up because why else would she suit up like that? I don't know. It's not in
No,
the
I hear.
movie.
Well, that's the thing, though, Mitch. I mean, again, and I also believe, as I understood it, and people in the chat can correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounded like they leaned more into the DEI of Disney and Marvel and Lucas and everybody else of late, and that's one of the reasons why they had the test audience. It didn't go well, and everyone's like, "All right, let's pull back a little bit and everything." And again, I think given all the rewrites and everything they decided to leave in and not leave in, and it's funny because it really does smack of some of the issues of condensing Section 31 into a TV movie as opposed to a longer piece and everything. They did okay. And like I said, I mean, listen, I just did a Milwaukee radio review of the movie. And I said, listen, if you're just looking for a fun popcorn night at the movies, you're going to have a great time. And I'd give it 2.5 out of 4 stars personally. But I really just felt like the again, cramming so much different story into it, overcomplicated things. They should have focused on a couple other things. And also, I just think, man, compare Redford in Winter Soldier and what they had Harrison Ford do in this movie. And I think Redford was more effective. And also that story was more of an interesting, intelligent story. This, we had a basic MacGuffin, and also the whole thing of reintroducing the Eternal and the idea of adamantium specifically. I guess that means that all the X-Men stuff was happening on a different parallel world. And this is the 616 discovery of adamantium because, of course, Wolverine's claws,
I brought that up to Mitch and Jerry when we were talking the other night, that the adamantium, at the end of the other movie where Kelsey Grammer's Beast shows up in the after credits, he was from a different universe. So that infers that, Wolverine is from that universe as well. So we don't have any adamantium here. I thought it was kind of a smart play, but how are they going to gel that when they bring the X-Men in? Is it going to be like a new Wolverine that's created or something like that? That might be an interesting idea. I don't know. Also, one of the things that really sticks in my craw is like people online I was reading about, they changed Thunderbolt Ross. Yeah, William Hurt died, but they,
what are you going to do?
They put in Harrison Ford, and then, but they brought back that guy, the leader from the Hulk movies, and they brought back, Betty Ross.
Betty Ross, yeah.
I'm like, yeah, why didn't they bring Edward Norton and Eric Bana in too? Dumbasses, like these are
Different
choices
people.
that they're making. Yeah, it's like casting in a movie. What are you griping about?
I don't know. They've done it already with Rhodey. They did it with there's another character they switched out.
Sure, that's true.
Oh, Fandle in the Warriors 3. One of it,
right?
Yeah,
Right.
because it was originally supposed to.
Yeah,
have
then
been.
it was Zach Levy, and then like, all right, whatever, no one's
But-
crying about that.
In the case of bringing back the Incredible Hulk storyline in this movie, man, was Liv Tyler too expensive? So they just shot her one afternoon? Because there's a lot of exposition. Oh, my daughter, and I miss her, and and a lot of photographs and the phone call with Liv Tyler, and then finally at the end, hi, Daddy, I'm proud of you. Okay, thank you. Moving on.
Well, she's in that scene at the cemetery, but they got cut out because they showed her on that shooting thing. She was in a black dress. It must have been her dad that died, and they said, "Oh, we can't do that." So
her dad's Thunderbolt. Well,
yeah,
you're
I
right.
know, but
then
I'm
it would
saying
have been
maybe
him
they
dying then.
Harrison ain't coming back for any more of these movies. So.
Then you shoot her on the phone and actually see her rather than the Dad, listen, whatever. I got to talk to you. And I just felt like again, it's like, oh yeah, there she is. Okay, great. It's like
going back to the height thing. I looked it up. That girl's 5'2". Now look,
that's tiny. Moving on.
Whatever. So was
I'd like to see her stacking.
I'm going to say one more thing about height. Doesn't matter. Size doesn't matter. What was that? Was her name Rosa
Kreb?
Kreb, the girl from Russia with Love with James Bond. That little tiny woman that had the knife in her shoe.
Oh, sure, yeah, Lottie Lenya, yeah, the actress, Lottie Lenya,
tiny. Yeah. She was taking on the show.
And they gave her a dagger in her shoe, and she was awesome. This one, I don't know, guys.
Maybe
I
she had a
just
dagger in her
I
shoe. We
couldn't
just
take.
didn't see
I
it.
could not. I could not
If she
take
was a
this woman
widow,
seriously.
she would have widow accessories.
That's right.
Could
Black
not
Widow.
take
the
her
stingers
seriously.
in
I
that.
thought, you know what I thought she had at first? I thought she had those wrist stingers
Yeah.
that the Black Widow had when she came into that
Would have
room
been
and she
nice.
was tapping the guards. I was like, oh, she's got the wrist things like all the widows, but they didn't do that. But whatever. Anyway, what was the other thing that got cut out?
Fanboy
Carl
Cantina.
Lumley.
Sorry, Dash. I called earlier when there was an assassination attempt. I love that. I'm sorry. I just had to get that in.
Carl
I had
Lumley.
I had a quick question before we move on to that. Did they ever explain how she became the security for Harrison Ford?
No.
Or she was
She
just
was
there,
just
right?
there.
Okay.
It was like,
I
well,
didn't know
who's
if I had-
she?
Yeah, I didn't know if I had missed it or not. Okay.
It would have
Well,
been
she said widow
interesting.
training.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it would have been like he had to find that out. You know that was rewritten in there because the guy did it on the computer. Because you guys told me when we walked out of the theater, I said to Jerry and Franco, I said, "Hey, why wasn't that girl in it more? She didn't have the superpower suit." And they go, "Well, after the whole Gaza thing, they took that character out." And I go,
Isn't that ridiculous?
"I was
Isn't
like,
that
well, wasn't
freaking
that
ridiculous?
but they're not in our universe." I was like, this is not our world. This is not the world we live in. This is a fantasy world where they have red hulks and giant hands in oceans. I don't look for geopolitical things in our world.
Well, I
in
think
their
the
world.
thinking was the same thing why they took the Twin Towers out of the first Spider-Man movie and stuff like that. I mean,
Sensitivity.
I guess. but
Ridiculous.
who knows?
Comment-
Anyway,
wait,
no, there was
real fast about Lumley
Yeah.
before you get to Lumley.
Yeah.
Stanley says they shouldn't recast if they want continuity. Disagree, Stanley.
well, they have to
I
do
want-
that. There's nothing
they-
they can do.
yeah. When people die, they have to do that. I'm still mad. As much as I love Chadwick Boseman, there's a lot more T'Challa story to tell, and they kind
Yeah.
of blew it deciding to honor Chadwick Boseman. Now, what do you want to say about Carl Lumley?
No, I was going to say the Carl Lumley thing. I said, well, if you watch The Falcon and Winter Soldier, you would know all that because they did a much better job because it's a longer story. But then I was realizing, I was telling Jerry, not everybody has Disney Plus. We assume if they go to these movies on opening night, that's the core audience. But my mom and sister saw it. They don't watch Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Absolutely,
They called me
Mitch.
up and said, "Who's that guy?" And I said, "Oh, this is that." And my kid knew because he watches this stuff. But it's like I don't know.
Right,
Sometimes
yeah.
they're
My son
assuming
said the
too
same
much.
thing.
Yeah.
My son
Oh, he
said
didn't
the
know
same
who he
thing.
was.
No, he knew because he watches all the shows and
Right,
everything.
yeah,
But
but
he's
not
like
everyone
anybody who hasn't seen these shows, you have to do a lot of homework. Like, yeah, you don't need to know everything, but they didn't explain how this eternal celestial thing
No, that
showed
was
up
out
in the
there.
middle of the Indian Ocean and stuff
Right.
like that. Unless you saw the Eternals movie, which I'm sure a lot of people did not see.
Nobody did not.
You don't you
And-
don't know where
and
that
did-
came from.
And did we need that? And my answer is no. We
No.
did not, other than potentially dropping the Easter egg for further along about adamantium and everything. No, we really didn't need it because unless
I
they
agree
want to
with you.
boost any eternal
Well-
sales of DVDs and
Well,
things
I
like
agree
that.
with you, but I'm wondering again. They went back and reshot a lot of this stuff, so I'm wondering if the FX teams had already done all that and stuff like that. Might as well just
Well-
put it in there. So I'm wondering.
Ever since they did the Eternals, which that's my least favorite of all the Marvel movies, and Jerry's like, "What's Jack Kirby?" I said, "Let me just tell you something, and don't get anybody nuts. That comic book sucked in the 70s. You couldn't give it away, and I'm sorry, it has great concepts, but as an overall 18-issue storyline, dude, that's a friggin' 50-cent bin book
I'm
all
so
day
with
long,
you, Mitch.
okay?
Listen, we all love Kirby.
hated that shit.
The most
And let me tell you-
impenetrable Kirby
Right.
stuff.
Oh, you couldn't get it. I mean,
of Marvel.
a lot of his stuff is brilliantly designed and beautiful concepts, but when it comes to an actual storytelling involved, I could care less. So when that hand came out at the end of Eternals, I saw the Eternals. I didn't think it was that bad. I thought it was a good sci-fi channel
It's all
movie,
right.
basically. So, and it was so freaking big. The thing was like past the Earth's atmosphere, sticking out into space. I mean, the way they shot it, I'm like, oh my God, that thing's it's insane how big they made that thing. So of course you're going to see it. It's going to show up on radar and hey, this big thing just popped up. It would cause tidal waves and shit because you can't just have something pop up without, but again, it's not our world. It's not realistic. So you knew they had to address it at one point, unless they decided that, oh, the Eternals never happened and it's a Bobby Ewan in the shower thing. But no, they incorporated it now into the proper MCU, so they had to address it. Throwing
Well, maybe-
adamantium on it, that was like, oh,
Maybe
yeah.
they did that whole thing because they're coming out with a new Avengers movie, and maybe Harry Styles Star Fox might be in the Avengers movie. So
Maybe.
that's how they
maybe.
got to bring it in.
Well, we'll see.
And don't
We'll
forget
see.
Pip
talking about watching everything, and that honestly is the corner they've painted themselves into, Marvel, by building upon this universe again and again and again. At 35 friggin' movies in the last 17 years, you got to go to school to know what's going on with who this guy. Oh, that's Samuel Stearns. Oh, how does Falcon know who Samuel Stearns is? Because if he's been hidden away in a prison, was it general knowledge to everybody? He goes, Samuel Stearns. I'm like, well,
wasn't he Blonsky? Wasn't he Blonsky in the Norton movie?
No. Blonsky was Tim Roth. And then,
no, you're right. Yeah, that was Tim Roth.
They
That's
took the Super Soldier Serum. He was
Yeah,
Mr. Blue. And
That's
Mr.
yeah.
Blue
No. I know that. I know he's the leader. I just thought, yeah.
That was a stretch. They're like, oh no, that he's been hidden away by Ross all these years, and he's been using it because he can calculate every possible outcome. I go, that's not really the leader's power. He's kind of super smart, but not like Rain Man over there.
On the reshoots, given that the Trigger song,
was
the Fleetwood's "I'm Mr. Blue," that they could have just gone, like at some point, couldn't some analyst been like, wait a minute. That was, Schoenstein's, code name to Banner when he was talking to him.
Right.
What's his name again? Sammy Stearns?
Samuel Stearns.
Yeah, Samuel Stearns. Sorry.
In the comics, he was a janitor, and then he accidentally got exposed to gamma rays and became super smart. And this one, they made the stuff drop in his hair. So if it drops, if it drops in your penis, do you get like a big growing?
Yeah, maybe. Then he truly is the leader if that happens.
That woke you up, huh? That'd be something.
Just like the Hulk, you could have regular pants on when you turn into the Hulk. If
right?
that drops on your penis, you can't have.
Harrison Ford goes to do a press conference. He's just wearing a normal suit. He didn't know he was going to Hulk out. He should have been bone ass naked running around there all red and shit. But no, that didn't happen.
Of course not. When Wayne, put the helmet back up, Wayne. Because I really want to talk about Sam Wilson's current suit and everything in general. All right, so we got the Ant-Man / Avengers Endgame helmet. All right, we've got his Falcon wings. We now learned that his super suit was made by Wakandan and Stark technology.
Yeah.
Okay. And he's got Cap's shield. I'm sorry, this guy is wearing a bunch of hand-me-downs for his superhero suit, and they kept making the point, oh, I wish I had taken the serum. I wish I had taken the shirt. No guff, because then you'd be a superhero and not a very talented hand-to-hand combatant that he's shown in other movies. I don't believe he can throw the shield the way that Steve can, the way they showed him doing it. And frankly, he got stabbed and a few other things, and basically
he got beat by Ant-Man, for crying out loud.
He got stabbed with an axe and a knife through his chest, and then there was a quick throwaway line on the second viewing. I heard Sidewinder, Giancarlo says, oh, like vibranium undershirt, another gift from the Wakandans. And he says something like, wait, now he wears like Wakandan, what is it?
That's what I'm saying.
He wears vibranium clothes all day now, like vibranium underwear.
Yeah, when he was in his.
I think so.
You don't know how comfortable that can be.
It could.
No,
it breathes.
that's
Does
fine.
it breathe? Is it like cotton?
You need a better explanation.
I didn't know.
The guy needed the serum, and Bucky's speech to him about, oh no, you don't need the serum because you're you. Yeah, well, I'm sorry, Bucky, but that's not logical. And also the fact that Isaiah Bradley, and they blew it, man. They should have had Falcon, Isaiah, and Sam all together in an action scene. And by the way, break out Isaiah's old suit. And we got senior citizen Captain America that clearly can still kick ass. And again, as the oldest person in this conversation, well, Wayne and I, slightly ahead, but you know what I'm saying, Wayno. I'm off. Let's get out of the anti-age. Let's do pro-ageism, and let's show that Carl Lumley, even as a senior citizen, still, because I always love that in the comics, like in What If, where Captain America was in his 60s, and it's like, yeah, guess what? I can still punch. And it's like, that's what you needed against the Red Hulk, not this bullshit hand-me-down, costume that Sam is wearing that, oh, he can handle the Red Hulk's punches. I don't think so. And again, that's where my comic book nitpicking comes in and goes, yeah, that's cute, guys. And I know the average audience doesn't give a crap, but I'm sorry, us Marvel heads, it's like, yeah, no, he really isn't up to the challenge. Sorry, not this challenge.
All right, you want to talk about, there's a discrepancy in age real quick. If Bucky's 110 and Steve would have been about 100 and something too.
Sure.
Isaiah Bradley was only 10 years after World War II, so he should be in his like 90s or something too.
Could
But he
be.
jumping out a window and he was running fast and doing all this stuff. I go, wait a minute. So even old man Steve, I don't know. I'm saying
Well,
they're not that
yeah,
far off.
that's Chris Evans not wanting to do stuff anymore.
Yeah, I
don't
know, but I'm saying, how come he could jump around and he's still built and pretty in shape, you know? But whatever. Maybe he didn't let himself go. I don't know. But anyway, if you really want to ask Carl Lumley these questions, you know where you could do it, don't you, John?
Well, I was hoping you'd tell us, Wayne, Mitch,
Well,
where's he
that's
going to do
Wayne.
this
That we
summer?
don't do Canada. If you're coming to the United States, that would be Terrificon on August 8th to the 10th, where Mr. Carl Lumley himself, Isaiah Bradley, will be at my show here in Connecticut. Tickets are on sale now. Come out and meet this very rare appearance by one of the great actors of our time, known from everything from Buckaroo Banzai to Mantis to Alias to
Martian Manhunter on the Justice League.
Manhunter, Supergirl, the TV show. He was on that as well.
And he doesn't do a lot of shows actually.
What was he in?
Yeah.
What was he in Supergirl?
He was Martian Manhunter's like dad or something, or they had another.
Was he
one.
really? That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
And then he was also in the Fall of the House of Usher recently, and then people tell me he played something called Doctor Sleep. Well, I don't know what that is.
The sequel to The Shining.
Oh, he was in that with Ewan McGregor.
That's Doctor Sleep. That's.
Oh, I
Dr.
didn't
Sleep.
see the movie, so
I
sorry.
didn't see it
but
either.
Anyway, people are like, "Oh, he's in that." Anyway,
Listen.
you should go see him.
Let me add to what Mitch is saying about how rare it is to see Carl Lumley at a convention. He doesn't do conventions. In fact,
doesn't.
during COVID, Susan Eisenberg, the animated Amazon Wonder Woman, got him to agree to do a table read with the rest of the Justice League cast that I moderated, and it was great. And she's like, Carl really was gun shy about doing shows, but then started warming up a little bit. So I'm really glad that he's doing this. And as Mitch just said, with all of his credits, Carl's incredible. You can't take your eyes off of Carl Lumley when he is in a scene. He is that great. And again, what a waste that they could have made so much more. And really, I loved the dynamic between the three of them. And Young Falcon, too. I give this guy credit.
Yeah,
because
Danny
he was
Ramirez.
just okay in the streaming show. But man, now there's real chemistry. He's really they got a Bruce Wayne Dick Grayson thing going between
Was he in the
Sam and this
streaming show?
Falcon.
I totally forgot
He
about
was.
that.
He was in the very beginning. He was undercover looking for that New World Order company, whatever
Yep.
the people were called. And then he gets the suit because Sam goes, "What do you want? Your Falcon wings?" He says, keep it. So there you go. But what was I was going to say something else about him. Oh, there was definitely reshoots because I noticed in the second time, Carl Lumley's hair is growing out while he's in prison.
Oh yeah, I saw that too.
But then when he goes walking down that hallway or outdoor corridor with
They give him a haircut.
with Ruth, yeah, his hair is slicked back and it's almost a different color.
It's normal.
Like dark
I know.
again. I'm like, wait a minute, how did that happen within a second?
He reminded me of who was it in the Running Man that was like Pyro, and wasn't it Jim Brown? Wasn't Jim Brown in the original Running Man
movie? With Richard
yes,
Dawson?
yes. Because he reminded me of one of the gladiators that's chasing Schwarzenegger with that ridiculous hair that they gave him. They gave Lumley for a second, and it's like, you didn't need to do that. He could have just left his hair normal.
No, he was
it really
great.
wasn't
He was
necessary.
great. And then
He
there's
was
a
amazing.
scene. Well, he says to him because they're trying to figure out. He's like, "Well, he was at point blank range, and he had open shots at Harrison Ford." They go, "How come he didn't kill the president?" And I'm thinking, well, you find out later on they don't want to kill the president because he wants to make him, humiliate him in front of his daughter and the world and all that stuff. That was the ultimate plan. But I said it would have been cool if they just threw a little line in there that Isaiah Bradley, even under the spell of the leader, was such a true hero. He fought back against that stuff. Like the super soldier serum, like in his own will, said, "That's wrong. I'm not going to shoot the president." Even though it's not in the movie because I told you why they don't want to kill the president. But I was like, it would have been nice to say, "Oh, you know what? He fought back a little bit. He was trying to resist it, even though he was under mind control." But that's just me. I didn't write the story.
Well, another very quickly, Wayne, another little thing I think that would have made it better too was not have him be officially at the president's thing, have him burst in a Captain America outfit, shooting at the president. And oh my God, this Captain America. Well, what are we doing? Should any Captain America do whatever? Wayne, go ahead. I didn't mean to step
Okay,
on
I'm just going to go back to the whole Anthony Mackie and why you can't believe he's a superhero. Doctor
No, not a superhero.
Batman.
That's
No, but still- but
no,
he's-
not a
Batman's only in a suit.
Wayne, because
No,
that's
no,
not what I
John,
said.
I'm speaking, John.
That's
I
not
gotta
what
speak
I
right
said.
now.
Relax. That's not what I said. I said
John,
Captain
John,
America.
John.
Go ahead, Wayne.
He's
Time!
in a suit, just like Batman in a suit, but his suit is supercharged. It's not a hand-me-down. It's a suit. It's his own set of armor, just how they armored up Batman recently. So I can believe, and he was practicing with the shield. So I can believe that he's gotten a lot better with the shield over time, like anyone else. You do things over and over, you get better at it. The suit gives him additional abilities. And just like in the Black Panther costume, they showed that the Black Panther, the vibranium, absorbed all the kinetic energy that was thrown into him and that he could throw it back out. I still think it worked for me, and I don't know why it didn't work for you.
Because they had him doing Captain America level things, and I don't buy that an outfit will do that. I understand everything you said, and that's the explanation. I don't buy it. And again, I did not say that he cannot be a superhero, that he's not the Captain America, and that's why compared to Steve. Go ahead, Wayne.
Okay, then how about Batman? Batman's just human.
Different hero.
No.
Different hero.
No.
Different
If you're
universe,
talking
yes.
human, he's just a human who can fight. He's been trained.
But putting him in the armor, putting Batman in that armor does not make him Superman.
No. And again, you watch Batman fight taking on a whole bunch of goons, then Anthony takes on a whole bunch. To me, I see no difference between Batman and the new Captain America.
Good for you. I do. And I'm sorry. Again, when you bring in other heroes, that's apples and oranges.
You're bringing
Captain
in the
America is at this
Captain
level.
America.
Captain America is at this level. Somebody in fact, they've done so many great stories in the comics where others who don't have the soldier formula, but try to be Captain America. Carl Kiesel 15 years ago wrote a fantastic. Every time Carl is on, I always bring up that story because it's Patriot as Captain America post World War II to explain some of the all winners stories from the Golden Age, that there was a Captain America there.
Yeah,
they've retconned it to be that it was Patriot in the cap suit, and he's not up to it. And that's a big part of the story. He's not up to it physically, and that's obviously the case with Sam Wilson. Sorry, that's my feelings on it. Cap has healing power. Sam Wilson doesn't.
Cap does not have healing power.
Does anyone want to know my feelings?
do it!
You guys are
Franco.
nerds. You guys are nerds.
Fucking nerd. And look at
Oh
it.
no, I totally. This is the nitpick. No, that like I said, man. Generally, and any normal person, I'd be like, go see the movie. It's a lot of fun.
There's
You know
no
what I mean?
normal
We're not
people
normal.
watching this.
We're not normal.
Not
We ain't normal.
Look at this friggin'. I
So-
live in a friggin' hole in the wall, and I make a comic convention to make a living. Jesus, he
Cap
draws.
doesn't heal faster.
draws
I'm not saying he's
20.
got Wolverine powers, but Cap doesn't heal faster than the average person. I think he does, sir.
The Steve Rogers version heals faster, but you don't.
That's
have
what I'm
to
saying, sir.
You don't
That's
have
what I'm
to be
saying.
a super soldier to be Captain America.
I disagree.
I
And
don't
again,
think so.
I don't. I really and as much as I like the new Falcon, and I really do, that guy really went from. I don't know if I'm gonna like him in the next movie because I was like indifferent about his appearance in the TV show. But I'll be damned. No, he's good. I like him. He's funny, and I like their chemistry and all that stuff. I'm sorry, Sam Wilson. There was nothing wrong with keeping him Falcon, and it would have been nice to see him in a Falcon movie. And again, I think to make him Captain, I know they put it in the story, and fine. And Chris Evans doesn't want to be Captain America anymore. That's fine too. I don't know. And again, I felt like Bucky's speech to him. It's like, well, everything you're saying really doesn't make him up to this challenge. But okay, Bucky, if you say so. And also, I like how Bucky is supposedly running for Congress, and I wonder what's going to happen at the beginning of Thunderbolts. That's going to be like, all right, so that's not happening, and that's when Valentina's going to be like, hey, I got a job for you.
I was thinking maybe they don't like the name Thunderbolts because everyone's thinking of Thunderbolt Ross. I was like,
If you look at it, it says Thunderbolts and there's an asterisk.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's
it's on
interesting.
all the logos. Yeah.
Well, and it's because they're all making fun of the fact that they're calling themselves Thunderbolts.
No, the Russian guy wants to call himself.
there's
the
something
Right.
something that means that, like, just like the Thunderbolts comics, there was a twist. I think that there's going to be something happening with this, and that their name is going to change, or it's going to be something totally different.
But anyway, on that whole matter of Sam Wilson becoming Captain America, I have no problem with it. And in fact, I like the fact that he didn't take a super soldier serum because he's more human. And it just goes to show it's the character of the man who puts on that outfit and represents all of America. Thank you. And not somebody that was part of a lab experiment where they were given super steroids and made them some ultimate athlete. He's just a normal guy, and a normal guy who picks up that shield and tries to save the world is a cool guy, unlike
he was
Batman,
already that
a psychopath who just, with all his money, he could fucking end all the crime in Gotham tomorrow by making some new programs and putting people to work. But that cheap bastard likes to get his rocks off by dressing up and beating up freaking guys who can't stand a chance against him because he's got all that freaking armor on. Jesus, Batman's a piece of shit.
I think Sam Wilson already proved all that as Falcon. And the uniform is a lateral move as far as that goes, as far as showing his honor and his integrity. And again, I would have said then don't have a Captain America.
Well,
until...
you can't have two Falcons. It's like two popes. It didn't work.
Well, and I agree with. Well, although Falcon got his wings as part of an army thing, and he had those wings before he had the code name Falcon. And it's funny,
guy. Yes,
right. And actually. My friend Rob Burnett was on a different YouTube show talking about the movie and said it would have been cool to see a flashback scene of Sam training these people, even as superhero Falcon, the new recruits with this technology and everything, and showing young Falcon as his sidekick in that respect and everything. So, yeah, whatever, I call him Shrike, call him something else, whatever, another fighting bird of some sort. But regardless, again, it's just my thing of like, I'm sorry, he has yet to show that he is. Again, I don't think the power level's there. If they had kept it, the Secret Serpent Society, say that fast 3 times, with Sidewinder and everybody else, that story, then that's a Sam Wilson level threat that he could face. I'm sorry. I think Steve Rogers would have a tough time, as proven in the comics, with a Hulk, and whatever. And you got to be clever, and I get all of that. I'm sorry. I don't think his power level matched the power level, even though it's a brand new Red Hulk, and I don't know my own strength, that kind of thing. Oh, I'm the Red Hulk now. Where's my daughter? All right.
Yeah, he's a first-time Hulk. He's never been Hulk before, so he doesn't know how to use his powers. So I find it totally believable.
Well, who asked you?
Okay. Jumped around.
I'm trying to think of anything else I want to bitch about.
One thing I did like while I was watching the movie.
That's the thing, kid.
I did like it. I honestly did. I liked it enough.
I hate it.
One thing I liked, and I thought about during the movie is when in the press, again, spoilers, in the press conference when he turns into the Hulk, and the Secret Service are all holding him down, like shielding him from anybody that might be coming at him. But then when he turns into the Hulk, they all turn his guns on him, and I'm like, wait,
they start shooting at him.
Are you still the Secret Service?
And the other thing is, why were they stopping him from talking on the microphone? Like, get away from that microphone, sir. It's like, why? There's like a weird thing going on with the audio, and he's trying to say, oh no, that's not true. But they haul them away. I'm like, why? Is the microphone going to attack him?
When he turned into the Red Hulk, it was such a Godzilla moment. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I laughed at that, and I laughed at Sabra. I'm sorry. Every time I'm here, and it's like, okay, whatever. And Red Hulk, I'm sorry, there was a Godzilla moment. What, Wayne? Go ahead.
I did the same thing every time I saw Harrison Ford. He was stunt casting. They could have got a better actor than him.
There's no better actor than Harrison Ford. That's it, Canada.
To me, he just walked through the scenes. He was just there for the paycheck, and that was
it.
He did not add anything.
If you watch interviews, he says exactly that.
God bless him
for a paycheck.
He is American treasure. That man.
And I think they could have taken out the Betty. You could have got a different actor to play Ross, and you didn't need the Betty subplot. That
I agree with all that. And also, real fast, Isham Zubi has got a point. He says Ross recruited from the Hulkbusters for his Secret Service detail.
Maybe he did.
Maybe. But
should have got Jimmy Woo.
I love Jimmy Woo. My God, I'm waiting for Randall Park to come back as Jimmy Woo. Jimmy was one of my favorite Silver Age characters and Shield agents. I love Jimmy Woo.
Cartrix.
Come on, he's the man. But yeah, man, I just the Harrison compare Harrison Ford's performance to Redford, who really did try. And I think in Winter, I mean, that's the thing, Wayne, and I appreciate you bringing up the Winter Soldier comparison, because I think this is poor man's Winter Soldier. It's poor man's Clear and Present Danger, another Harrison Ford movie where he's Jack Ryan, but again, that the president is dealing with some dirty stuff. It's just, man, and then this is what smacks of, and again, I don't mean to keep bringing it up, but Section 31, they give these writers and directors that, I'm sorry, they're not up to the task. I felt like the aerial combat scenes with the Falcons fighting the fighter jets and everything. Yeah. I thought that was fun, but also, you know, in the CGI world, it's like, all right, I don't know. I'm getting desensitized to what I'm like, yeah, I've seen this before. And again, I appreciated that it was guys, much like when Downey or Rhodey would be in the armor and they would have to fight fighter jets or whatever, air attacks. Yeah, I don't know, man. Again, I'm like, all right, it's okay. I felt like this movie in parts did drag a little bit, which is shocking given that they did have rewrites and re-edits and things like that. That because of the different storylines, they had to juggle. And when we were at Giancarlo Esposito and Anthony Mackie talking, kind of was unnecessary. Or again, like you just said, Wayne, you could have thrown out the whole Incredible Hulk sequel storyline. It was not necessary. There's enough of that the president was dealing with. And it could have been anybody. Didn't have to be Thunderbolt Ross. Could have been anybody turning into the Red Hulk. The way they've changed things as much as they have, I don't know.
You know why?
But again,
Robert Redford's a great actor. Harrison Ford's a fucking movie star. That's
easy with the F's, but yes.
All right, that's the difference.
You know,
it's just like Peter O'Toole. I'm not an actor. I'm a movie star.
I love that. My favorite year.
The truth. Harrison Ford, one of the biggest.
I think Harrison Ford is very capable of serious moments in his films, and I think he's shown it. But again, yeah, he's getting paid. You know, again, it's just, man, I'm so sorry, guys. I don't mean to keep bringing up Section 31, but in a similar way, well, a big portion of your budget went to this A-list actor. Was it worth it? I would say no. And again, I love Harrison Ford. I'm always happy to see him working. I'm excited for 1923, the next chapter that's coming up.
This weekend.
But again, there you go. And, you know, again, I love the guy. But, yeah, this was a waste. And also, I really hate all these press junket interviews he's doing because also, like, the cool interviewers, yeah, I can't believe you're in this superhero movie. Oh, BS. You know, gee, I'm really sorry. He's getting paid, jerks. Don't be, you know, and I'd use cheaper language right now, but I'm watching my F-bombs. But that really got me angry as well. And it's just like, you know, walk away and then do a different movie interview. If this movie is beneath you, critic, or whomever you are, jerk off.
Yeah.
I see it. So anyway.
So Captain America, he's going to be leading the Avengers. Now, here's the weird timeline. Next year, is it Doomsday? Yeah, next year Doomsday comes out. Marvel's not rushing this too much. You got the Fantastic Four has to come out this summer. Before you can even enjoy the Fantastic Four, they're shoving the Doomsday thing down your throat next year with Robert Downey. We don't know who's going to be in that thing. Could be everybody. And then you got to wait a year for the Secret War. So you know it's going to be a setup like Infinity War.
I thought Secret Wars is first and then Doomsday.
No, I thought Doomsday was first.
You want to hear some scuttlebutt that I may have come across on the internet, which I don't know if it's true or not, but it's very spoilery for
the internet.
Fantastic Four. Yeah. It's a very spoilery for Fantastic Four. So I don't know if you want to discuss it or not.
Do it.
Okay. So what I heard was everything that you see in the trailer for the Fantastic Four is only like the first 20, 30 minutes of the movie. And that Galactus is not the bad guy, but the bad guy is Dr. Doom, Robert Downey Jr.
Okay. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah. Well, he is in the movie, so yeah.
Well, and also that they're just beating the hell out of this alternate universe thing. And yeah, man, it's been too long and too annoying. Go ahead, Wayno. What do you got?
Okay, Phase 5. Fantastic Four, First Steps.
Yep.
Then Avengers Doomsday. Then Untitled Spider-Man No Way Home sequel. And then Avengers Secret Wars.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the other way around.
Not a lot. I thought they have like 3 or 4 a year now.
2025 is Fantastic Four. 2026 is Avengers Doomsday and Spider-Man. 2027 is Secret Wars.
And then what? And then a
And
relaunch.
then what?
No, I honestly.
Then we
I told
elect a new
Roadway,
president.
You know they're going to just do a
Hopefully.
reboot of the whole thing because at that point
You know
everyone's
what's
65.
you know what's really starting to annoy me at this point? As I get older, I don't know if I'm going to make all these sequels.
I know.
I hear you,
I'm
man.
scared of that. I'm like,
Who you
Jesus, I'm
talking
glad
to?
I made it. Got to take my blood pressure pills.
What do you got,
if I
Wayne?
wanna see that movie.
Okay, if I trust Wiki,
Oh, yeah.
the first 3 phases was the Infinity Saga.
Right?
Next
Correct.
3 phases is the Multiverse Saga. So when we get to Secret Wars, that should end the whole Multiverse Saga bullshit.
Let's hope so.
Ugh.
And then there's nothing listed after Phase 6.
That's because
We're right now in Phase 6.
we're going to
Right.
blow up. The asteroid's going to wipe us out. We're doomed. That's why. I'll tell you. You know why the
God damn.
multiverse sucks? You know why the
Talk to me.
multiverse sucks? It
Tell me.
waters down any. What's the word I'm looking for? You don't
That's-
care about the damn story because you go, just do a do-over. It's like a time
Right.
travel movie. You
Right.
watch Terminator, you think it's great, and then you go, wait a minute, if they can go back in time, they can just go back and redo this movie again and again and again and again. It's like, dude, there's no drama. There's nothing compelling if you know it's going to, we'll
There's
just
nothing at stake.
we'll start it exactly. And they started doing. I said the only really not only, but the fact that Captain America was grounded in this movie and it wasn't all cosmic and shit. Because, dude, you can't have Spider-Man fighting Galactus. You can't have Daredevil fighting Galactus. You need to have the street level guys. You want to see the weird stuff, you go to the Fantastic Four, Doctor
Right.
Strange, or
Correct.
Guardians of the Galaxy. But they were
Yes.
really good at compartmentalizing these things. Like Iron Man's going to be fighting techno guys. Cap's
Right.
going to be fighting political thrillers. This is Doctor Strange is all magic. When they gel them all together like they've been doing, it's not good because they're not made. Those characters aren't meant for those storylines. It's like you can't
Completely
have Cap
agree.
fighting, Ronan the Accuser because it's like, why is he here?
Not-
What's going on?
Not
here?
to mix universes, but it's like
Right.
when the first Suicide Squad movie had them going up against the Enchantress or whatever the hell her name was.
Oh
It's like,
yeah,
Harley Quinn with the sledgehammer is going to fight an immortal god.
Right?
Okay, sure, that sounds good. Where do I sign?
No,
Dumbass.
because they want the spectacle. And you say Galactus is in the next one. It's like, yeah, the Fantastic Four should be the only ones that deal with Galactus. That's the way it is, and that's it. Then you got the X-Men. Oh my God, when that thing starts up, that's another one that's going to be all over the place if they don't ground that, because you got the X-Men fighting the Brood, you got the X-Men fighting the Shire, whatever it was. the Empire.
I suspect at the very least we'll see a handful of X-Men in either Secret Wars or Doomsday. I could be wrong.
Maybe that's
is
the
my
big
suspicion.
project. Maybe that's the big relaunch because
Well,
they got
and especially given that they've introduced adamantium now, it suggests to me that I mean, it's that Robert McKee thing in his book about screenwriting Story. You don't show a gun on the mantle unless you plan to use it in the final act, and I think that's the case with the adamantium and everything, and then them making such a big deal about adamantium and everything.
But
So-
when they go to do the new Avengers next year, I was thinking, who's going to be the Avengers, man? The new
Well,
universe
that's
coming,
right. That's Mitch. That's the problem.
Who
Do
is
we
it?
give a
Moon
damn?
Knight?
Do we give a damn of? And fine, throw Moon Knight in there. Moon Knight.
Maybe Thunderbolts with the asterisk.
Maybe the Thunderbolts
Is
as
it
well.
Captain Marvel again or Ms. Marvel?
Well,
Or
I
whatever?
doubt. I think Brie Larson is done with, and I think they are done with Brie Larson. I
Oh.
could be wrong. But my suspicion is that I suppose you've got Rhodey, you've got you've got and again
Namor.
I don't know how well he is.
Namor.
Namor.
Before Namor, Hawkeye. I don't know how well Jeremy Renner is to actually.
No, you got Kate Bishop instead.
Kate, that's right.
Well,
you
that's
got
true, too. Yeah,
Black
you see Kate
Panther.
Bishop.
There's been rumors that
You got
all those
Shuri as
younger
Black
tier-
Panther.
all those younger tier characters are going to be doing the Young Avengers.
The
But,
Young
Kate
Avengers,
Bishop and Miss Marvel and stuff like that are going to be doing Young Avengers. So
You ain't going to
So you
bring
think Kate
Daredevil
Bishop's
into
going to be
it.
there? Do you think Kate Bishop is going to be there? Is that what you're saying, Franco? Or
well, that's the rumors that she's going to be in the Young Avengers stuff.
okay, yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know, Mitch. I mean, that's
I don't
the thing.
think they'll ever, dude. They hit it out of the park with Infinity War and Endgame, and I'm sorry, you're never going to hit that again. You'll never have that crowd reaction. It was great, it paid off, but you can't capture lightning in a bottle twice. You could try, it's going to be watered down, and everyone knows it's not.
And that's why I think after Secret War or whenever they decide to, show the X-Men, that we're going to see a lot of reboots because
You
again,
have to. Yeah.
yes, yeah. I mean, and, you know, I'm sure I've said this before. Literally, 2010, I'm talking to Jeff Loeb when he was still president of Marvel Television. I'm like, well, what are you going to do in 10 years or so when you got, you know, a 60-year-old Tony Stark as Robert Downey Jr.? I go, are you going to keep him as Tony Stark or are you going to move on? He goes, I don't know, but that's a great problem to have. And it's certainly in 2010, it was a good problem to have because they were still kicking ass. And everything they made was, you know, they were crap and gold. You know, I mean,
I wonder. I mean, do they? How old is that new kid playing Superman? What's his name? Corn Sweet or something? Corn something?
Corn syrup. Yeah, I don't know. I don't
David
know.
Corn Syrup. No,
Yeah,
because you
about-
know they have to think of this stuff in the casting.
Oh no, you're right. And
what's Tom Holland? I think he's like almost 30 already, and you're like, he still,
Yeah, but
thank God,
he still looks
like a kid.
yeah, he's twerpy like Sabra is. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but man, oh man, you just go if these things take off. You know, how long are you going to do this? You know.
Superman is 31.
There you go.
Yeah, he's forever 31.
Well, and that's why no, is Superman is or the actor?
Oh, the actor's 31.
Oh, but in the comics, I always thought of Superman as being 30. Batman was like 30. You know, but yeah,
again, I will see exactly, and I hope that the pushback of too much. Man, again, I feel like a jerk, and I'm betraying my side politically when I say too much DEI, but I get it in terms of the movies and the television that we've been getting lately, where it's like, yeah, here you go. Okay, but you know, can we have a couple other? Can we have a couple men? Nope, women, yay, women, yay, and it's like, all right, yay, women, but you better make it a good story and you better make it a good character because if not, you failed, and they're failing a lot. So maybe maybe you can balance the scales again. That's why I'm excited for Thunderbolts. You know, I mean, David Harbour is great as Red Guardian.
Yeah, he is.
Jim Stain as Bucky. It's going to
be
John
Walker. You got Walker.
Yes, and I love John Walker, both as he was in Captain Winter Soldier, but even the character in general. It's like, all right, well, there you go. You got 3 fun guys that are going to be clowning around with the women. Good. There you go. Balance. Yes, please. Balance. Is that possible? No.
I don't know what, John. I got to be honest with you. When you go off like this, I don't think of this effing stuff at all. I really don't.
God bless you for that.
I really don't. No, and I'm not coming down on you because I know you're a friend of mine, but I'm not saying shit. I don't. I literally, and I'm not like, oh, I'm clueless about the world we live in. I trust me. I live in the same effing world the rest of you people do. But I go to these stories, and I said in my review the other day, I go for 2 hours. I pay $16. If I don't have to think about the crazy nonsense that's going down DC with the wars going on in the world for 2 hours, I eat my popcorn out of my big Captain America Red Hulk bucket, and I clog my arteries with butter that's going to kill me. I have a grand old time like I'm 8 years old. I don't give a crap how many women and men and this and that. I don't even think of it. I really never thought of these things.
I know.
Other people tell me I'm supposed to think of that stuff. And I put in my review the other day, I said, I'm so glad I've reached the age of 58 years old where I can honestly say I don't give a rat's ass about anybody else's thoughts but my own nowadays.
Sure,
so when you tell me you see this stuff, I think you see it. I don't see it. So it doesn't
I'm
mean
certainly
it's
not
real
alone.
or not.
Mitch, I'm not alone, and B.
Well, I know you're not alone because I see
on.
a lot of stupid comments on the internet.
Yeah, but I'd like to think
I get so mad. There's a bunch of people out there that try to sabotage this movie last week. Look, it's not going to make $100 million. Oh, it costs $500 million to make.
Yeah, but
what are you, the accounting department of Disney? What do you give a shit? They're not giving you a fucking dime of this. What do you care? Go to the movie, pay your $16, enjoy your 2 hours, and go home.
I agree wholeheartedly with Mitch
about this. Anyway,
I agree wholeheartedly with
I'm done.
Mitch.
Sorry,
Also,
but I just like, why are you getting mad at this shit?
But I agree with.
I don't see it.
I agree with one thing, and I don't agree with the other. I don't agree with the glasses that you're wearing over your cowl.
All right, I'll take it.
I do agree with you wholeheartedly. Watching to switch subjects for a second on the Saturday Night Live stuff last night.
Yeah.
I thought the 50th anniversary show was pretty damn good, especially when they had such little time. The talent they all contacted them basically within the week and stuff like that. They put together a hell of a show.
Yes.
Everything I'm reading today is about what wasn't in the show. The person like Dana Carvey wasn't there, or this person, or they didn't do this, or they shouldn't. It's like it's the same thing with these movies. Like,
forgive me.
Yeah.
It isn't because again, you guys are satisfied with the characterization and stories you're getting. We could say that about both movies, Section 31 and also this movie. I'm sorry, I'm a bit more of a hypercritic where it's got to mean something. It's got to matter. And I agree with you. When it is a strong story about a strong character, be they woman or person of color or various heights or weights, I don't care as long as it's compelling and interesting. But yeah, I do think they're kind of short shrifting us and kind of, especially in the case of Marvel and the product of the last 7 years post Endgame, a lot of them have sucked because the story isn't that good. The characters aren't as compelling and interesting. Well, all we're left with was what they put on screen. And if they decide that, hey, not only are we going to do another Brie Larson movie, but we got 2 other women in the movie, great. And it was okay. I didn't mind the Marvels, but it wasn't great. I like Shang-Chi. I thought Shang-Chi was exceptional. And again, thankfully, great. We got a person of color. We got Awkwafina was hilarious in that movie as his wing woman. I thought she was terrific. And that's the thing. So they are capable of it. But there have been more misses than hits. And again, there is, guys, you can say you don't see it, but there is an agenda at BBC, at Lucas, at Disney, and at Marvel of we need more, or there was, we need more inclusion. We need more this. We need more that. We were relying too much on male heroes and stuff. And that's fine. I'm still, again, I'll reserve judgment until I see the Fantastic Four movie. I'm still miffed that they chose to make the Silver Surfer Shabala instead of Norrin Radd. And it's like, there's nothing wrong with Norrin Radd.
You know, I don't know that I necessarily agree with that, because if on one hand you're making an argument that, oh, they changed this for the Marvel Universe and that's fine, and they changed that for the Marvel Universe and that's fine, why can't they change the things that you're hypercritical of and it's not okay?
Well, fine. All right. That's my opinion. I'm not alone. And these movies are underperforming. Well, and they're, wait a minute, but these movies are all underperforming. So how many times do you have to go in the wrong direction before someone goes, you know, these were working better 15 years ago? I wonder why. Well, let's take a look and find out. The stories were written better, the characters were written better, and there was more of a balance of, hey, you know, would it suck to have a male hero in there as well? You know, I'm sorry. Is that I guess that's asking too much. But again, we've had a full diet, I should say a 90% diet of Agatha all along and Captain Marvel and some of these other characters and stuff. And I mean, you know, again, I'm not against it if you write a good story. These stories have not interested me. And thank you, Legion of Comics, because this is important for everyone to hear, both as my co-hosts and the viewers and listeners. Disney has literally spoken about their agenda. It's not a secret. Thank you, sir, or ma'am, whoever you might be. Sometimes the films still work out. Most of the time, it costs them. Exactly, guys and women. These IP holders, they don't care about story. It's all just product for them. And they've been told by some focus group, you know, wouldn't hurt to have the women. You know, we got the teenage boys. They're just, I mean, that's the other thing. It's this attitude of, oh, it's a Marvel movie. Here's my money. And it's like, no, man, you got to make a good movie. Sorry. You got to make a good TV show. Sorry. And again, more times than not, they're not. So there's that. Hold on. Oh, Jerry. What's Jerry Stokes have to say? Isn't that right that Robert Downey Jr. was gone as Stark, and he was the tentpole attraction of the Marvel comedies, and people aren't really interested in laughing at the MCU without him? I agree with that. No comments, boys?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's that. Well, there you go, guys.
I'm going to go off.
I think they didn't have to go back to him.
Hold on. One at a time. Wayne, go ahead. You were first.
I didn't think they had to go back to him to cast Doom. They could have used someone else. All they're doing is they're just ripping off a what if story.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's...
I mean, it goes back to John's point where, you know, it's a product to them, and bringing Robert Downey Jr. in is the product. But
just like bringing Harrison Ford in.
Everything, yeah, even though they've made their agenda, you know, public, I don't agree with everything that you said in your last tirade there. But
yeah.
Fine.
Some of it I do with
no, because I'll tell you what, going on with Franco's thing, Disney's animated branch, they had this, is it Moana 2 or something like that? It made like $1 billion. I hadn't seen Moana 1, so I don't really know, but I'm saying I think it's centered around a female little character that made billions of dollars. And then what's the other one they had? Inside Out or something?
Again,
I don't see these stories, but
that's a kid audience. That's a kid audience, Mitch.
Dude, can I tell you something about this audience?
The Marvel movies.
Go ahead. I wasn't done.
All I'm saying is, All I'm saying is the Marvel movies are for a more general audience, not just a kid audience. Go ahead. What was your point?
Well, the other point is this audience of these guys that you see, Wayne, yourself, Franco, and me. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I go to the comic store every Wednesday at 11 o'clock when that door opens. We're becoming the dodo. We're dying out.
I hear you.
And you could tell me till I'm blue in the face because I run a comic convention. Look, Terrificon, Connecticut's Terrific Comic Con. I see who comes in the door and spends the money. It's the guys that are older like us that buy the comics, that buy the artwork, that buy this stuff. That's great. The younger kids are into the toys or into whatever or something like that. There's definitely a difference with that. So when you go to watch these Marvel movies now, I think they're gearing them not so much for folks that are in their 50s with gray hair. I think they're trying to get these young kids, and kids don't think like we do. My 20-year-olds don't think like you and I do. They're not obsessed with like how many people in the room and how many people are old and this guy was that guy 40 years ago and 20 years ago. It's a whole new world, because if it was that way, they'd be buying comic books. They'd be buying all this. They're not buying that anymore. That we're phasing out. We're vinyl records, man. We're going away. They don't have records. They download stuff. The same thing with these movies. Disney's a publicly traded company. They need to get their profit, people. That's just the way the world is. I'm sorry if people are going to cry and wet their diaper about it, but that's the business they're in. They're in the business of making money, and they have to appeal to the younger people who spend the money, because the older people are dying out. They don't leave their house. They stay home and get streaming stuff. They don't want to go out anymore.
17 years ago, these movies were generational, where much like the Barbie movie, where grandma and mom and little baby girl can all go to the movie and have a great time. And that was the case from Iron Man to Endgame. And then things got complicated. And then things got, something we need a little bit more. We need a little bit more. Let's have a little bit more women representation. Let's have a little bit more. And I'm sorry, again, this is my opinion. I think they did it at the expense of that multi-generational audience. I agree with you, Mitch. They do need to get a younger audience. Absolutely, that's true. The same thing goes with Section 31 and Starfleet Academy and everything. Oh, yeah. But the way to ensure, and again, the problem with the Star Wars sequels and stuff, give the original three a little bit more agency, a little more. They don't have to take over the movies, but you give them a little bit more to do. And I don't think that's a bad idea, because then all of a sudden, grandma and grandpa and mom and dad are like, so look, there's Harrison Ford, there's Mark whatever, and that they're doing a little bit more.
But you're going to have to. If you want to do that, you're going to have to recast those people, because one, Carrie Fisher's dead, Harrison Ford's 82, and Mark
thank you. So I'm saying before they died.
I'm saying if you want Luke Skywalker and Han Solo to mean something to younger kids, you can't base it on a 48-year-old movie anymore. You really have to, if you want to go that way, you're going to recast everybody, like they do with Batman and Superman. If you want,
you do it before they die, Mitch. Your point isn't valid, because again, I'm saying when they're alive, that they could have written those stories. That Force Awakens and Attack and Last Jedi could have had more scenes with. Leia
dude.
Then what are you saying? Then you're not making sense.
I'm saying to you, if you want those older characters from the original trilogy to be relevant to a younger crowd today, like Rey, Finn, and Poe, where we go, oh my God, those are the worst things ever. Not to like a 7-year-old kid. That's their
of course not.
Skywalker and Princess Leia.
That's their first Star Wars, sure.
Exactly. I didn't go when I saw Alec Guinness as a kid. When he was in his 50s, maybe.
Right.
I was like, oh my God, I gotta go see that movie about that old guy.
But that was a different role. But his role was different. And further, again, why would you close yourself off from the already established fans of the various franchises? Why would you do that? We've got to get a younger audience. Absolutely. But I'm sorry, we are still alive. And we are still buying tickets, and we might take our kids or our grandkids to something we like and go, oh, you might like this too. Here you go. That's how I introduced my nephew to Star Wars. One Christmas morning, we're watching USA, and he's 4-year-old kid. He's like, I like StarArs. I'm like, you're damn right you like Star Wars. It's great stuff. Keep watching, kid.
But like I said, Superman, keep reinventing it. Batman,
that's fine.
You're gonna have fine. It's just cyclical.
Yeah, but that's okay. Nobody's. I'm sorry. And again, I liked who was the last Superman that they screwed over?
Henry Cavill.
Yeah, Henry. I love Henry Cavill, but there's a reason why they went with the 30-year-old guy, because they want to make more than a couple movies with him, and Cavill's already in his 40s. I get it. I absolutely, and I agree. I think it's okay to recast people and stuff. But what I'm saying is, again, to the exclusion of other heroes or the regendering of other heroes, I'm against it. I think there are plenty of strong Marvel women that you can exploit without and again, Sabra in this movie, massive missed opportunity because Gaza. Okay, fine. Well, you screwed up. And again, there's a million other characters, and we're even seeing it in Thunderbolts and successive movies where we will be seeing different women being introduced. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with all that. I just think, again, that they can make a more balanced effort to not neglect the older audience that grew up on this stuff and is still willing to spend money on it. I think there's room for both. There used to be room for both. It doesn't seem like there is as much anymore. But again, maybe the tide is turning and they're learning because of the failures of the last several movies that, well, maybe we should go back to the old formula. What worked before, what isn't working now. So there was a point about Rob Burnett. Oh, here we go. Primordial Creative. One of Rob Burnett's clearer observations was that the writers/directors are just out of their depth. They don't have the vision or grit to put together a deep story or epic tale. Well, I don't know about grit, but I would say experience. The writers of this were also the Falcon and Winter Soldier writers. But again, I think they were kind of out of their depth on a film budget rather than a TV level. Here, Legion of Comics. Batman and Superman have not really been reinvented. Scott Snyder made the most changes to the character, and look what happened. Yeah, all right, whatever. So, anyway, SNL.
I liked it.
I liked it too. I liked it fine.
How could you miss? They had the funniest people in the last 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
It's like an all-stars team. It's like, that's it. You got
I don't
everybody.
think they, again, as when I was teasing Wayne, but I really don't think they've blown it on an anniversary show. And I also think this season, finally, because again, they've got, if you don't include Michael Che and Colin Yost, they have 18 cast members.
Yeah.
That's a lot. And these people do not get the reps that Dana Carvey or the original 7 not ready for primetime players got in their day, because all they had was themselves and the guest host. And even to the point where sometimes to get extra actors, they would use the crew in various things and stuff, just to have a bit role. But I mean, there's just too many cast members. But I have to say, this season has been really great. The regular episodes, along with the 50th anniversary, and that bit they did last night of when the couple did their vows and the whole Domingo song and everything with Sabrina Carpenter. Well, that first time they did it with Ariana Grande, that went viral, and I can't remember other than Nate Berganzi as George Washington from the previous year, and they did a callback this year. That's the third time they've done Kelsey's Bride Squad, from the movie, from their marriage to their when they were expecting a baby to now they're redoing their vows. This one was the weakest of the three, but I don't blame them for doing it because it's ridiculously funny, and I love seeing these singers like Ariana Grande and Sabrina Carpenter last night singing off key. It's very funny. So I thought that was good. I thought Bill Murray was fine with his little bit.
Eddie
the musical
Murphy as
performance
Tracy Morgan was awesome.
That was
hilarious.
great.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, at the end of it, when he was, what was it? Mayday Ray. I don't do anything halfway, and half his hair was cornbread. And you see Kenan Thompson just looking at his hair, and I was like, that was great. That
was funny. Yeah.
Yeah. No, they were good.
Will Ferrell was even funny.
Yeah, now Will Smith. But again, it's too bad because did I already say this? Because I think I'm combining what I said in my Milwaukee review to this. The musical show they did on Friday that was only on Peacock. There was a lot of great bits in there that really would have been great in the show, like when Will Ferrell and Anna Gasteyer did the Music Teachers, and they sang the Kendrick Lamar song from the Super Bowl.
The only problem I had was Jimmy Fallon doing Soul Man. Jimmy Fallon rubs me the wrong way. I
feel that way too. I was
like, you couldn't have got Jim Belushi. You couldn't have got. He was a cast member at one point. You couldn't have got Aykroyd. You could have got other people, but no.
I'm looking forward to Fly on the Wall, the David Spade Carvey podcast, and when they talk about the 50th night, and they made a joke about it with Lovitz being at the FAO Schwartz instead of sitting in the studio and stuff. But there are so many former cast members and others that there was at least one auxiliary, like non-stage area where everybody was hanging out, watching on a monitor and stuff.
Yeah.
So
I saw Anthony Michael Hall way in the back, and he was only on for one season. I was like, oh, look, they let him sit down.
Joe Piscopo, I'm sorry, ChemDog, he was in the audience. I saw him very clearly a few rows behind some of the others. That was the other great thing is if you recorded it to freeze frame it and watch who, like, especially when they did the Tina Fey and Amy Poehler Q&A part and they were going to the audience and stuff, not only the person that was speaking, but it's like, oh, look, there's Conan O'Brien. Oh, there's Kevin Costner sitting back there.
Steven Spielberg was in the audience.
Yes.
Snapshaw was there. Yeah.
Yes.
Mike Myers was there. I didn't catch it till I watched it tonight. He has all white hair now. So he was right in the front, and I didn't recognize him because I'm, old Mike Myers. And then I go, oh, my God, he was right there in front of me.
Well, and he was Linda in the
he did that. Yeah, the other sketch. Yeah.
Which was great. Yeah, Stanley, I hear what you're saying. He's like they should have used more old cast members, less new cast. I think they have a combined obligation to promote the.
Yeah, they got to mix it.
And
I'm bummed they didn't have James Austin Johnson doing Trump, and I understand. Again, I think they were afraid of what the third rail of comedy is these days.
Yeah,
that, maybe that's why they were gun shy putting it on the anniversary show.
If I'm not mistaken, wasn't that Meryl Streep's debut on Saturday Night Live? She's never been on Saturday Night Live before, right?
She was great. She was great.
I don't think
she's great, but I don't think she ever appeared on Saturday Night
maybe
Live
not.
before.
Right? Yeah, maybe not.
No,
I think you might be right. Yeah, but that was that's
up a couple of times. That was fun.
That is one of my favorite Kate. I mean, and really, it was okay. There are better versions of that Kate McKinnon bit when she did the alien abduction sketch, but it was still funny enough.
Yeah,
I like Tom Hanks came out and he said, in memoriam of all those culturally inappropriate characters that you laughed at. And then he points the finger at the camera and goes, so shouldn't you be canceled? Because you were the one that thinks it was funny. So look at yourself.
And I love that they pixelated all the blackface moments that they did. So,
is that what I was like? What's going on?
Yeah, that's why they pixelated faces, I believe. And then, of course, God forbid, they really can't show unedited or without unedited sound the infamous Richard Pryor Chevy Chase.
I saw that. I was like, they're not going to let that go, and they didn't. I was like,
ChemDog's like, all right, massive head wound, Harry. Sure. Again, 50 years, guys.
But
I'm sorry.
It's like all the stuff that they didn't put in. Yeah.
Right.
Oh my God! You can go. Where's Mr. Bill? Where's Toonces? Where's Conehead?
Mr. Bill was there.
I didn't see
Mr. Bill was there. Where? They when they were showing, I forget what the impetus is, but they obviously with either some sort of digital AI, they kept like freeze framing on different moments, and like people looked panicked.
Yeah.
All the different. Mr. Bill was one of them.
Oh,
Mr. Bill was all panicked and stuff.
No.
Oh, the anxiety song.
Yeah, the anxiety song. That's right. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. I missed it.
Mr. Bill was in that. Yep.
Wow.
No, other people are like, hey, how come they didn't have younger cast members reprise? I know, reprise old bits. Like you could have had 2 young cast members do the Wild and Crazy Guys and stuff like that,
Or the nerd?
I don't know if they should have done that. I mean, it's just.
I agree.
Because I was reading something about Saturday Night Live and what people thought of Saturday Night Live, and someone in an interview somewhere said that everybody's favorite Saturday Night Live era was when they were basically in high school.
Yeah.
Because that's where you would watch it, laugh, and stay up at night, and
sure.
And I don't know that happens nowadays because it's all viral and digital and you can see it anytime. But in years past, that's what it used to be. It's like when you would, when you were younger and would watch that.
Yeah. No, I agree. The other thing is,
but they mentioned Kazurinsky, which I was like, thank God, because I remember those lost years when like there was that weird cast that no one remembers. I go, and he goes, and when he was singing this song, Sandler, and he goes, oh, and we had Tim Kazurinsky. I'm like, look, they remember Tim Kazurinsky. And, they had Tony Rosato. There was a weird year or two on there that they got some SCTV people. Second City people that people forgot.
Oh, that's when Julia Louis-Dreyfus was part of the.
That's right, Denny Dillon and her husband.
Her husband Brad Hall.
Brad Hall was on it. Yeah,
Denny Dillon was a different. No, Denny Dillon was the
blonde, little blonde.
Yeah, but she was I want to say either the Charles Rocket season or the Randy Quaid.
Yeah,
season.
They didn't mention Charlie Rocket. I was like, I don't think they're going to mention him.
Or that season. Yeah, Jean Dumaine. She was
Was that the year? Oh, that was her year. Okay.
Yes,
you're right.
Jean Dumaine. Yeah, she's the. Yeah, she's. I wonder if she was even invited. To be honest.
No, I don't know. Was that the year that Downey Jr. was on with Anthony Hall?
That was different. That was a different year.
Oh, okay.
That was the Damon Wayans, Anthony Michael Hall, Downey Jr.,
Randy Quaid,
Randy
Jim
Quaid.
Belushi.
Yes.
Was that Chris Guest and Billy Crystal year, or that was a different one?
No, that was a different year. That was the first year of the executive, not Don Ohlmeyer.
What's his name? Dick Ebersol.
Dick Ebersol,
Yeah.
exactly. Susan St. James's husband.
That's my buddy's boss. He lives over here.
Oh, no kidding.
He produces the Super Bowl and the Olympics. Mark.
I don't know if Don Novello was there or not.
No, I didn't see Guido Sarducci there.
Would have been nice to see Father Sarducci.
Garrett Morris was there, and I was like,
He was great.
Chico Escuela. Oh,
Yeah, Chico Escuela, that's right.
He's all been very, very good to me.
Classic.
Yeah.
Come on. No, and I love that they showed the Belushi film.
That was a good way to end it. I was like, oh, they're not going to mention Belushi, and then they showed that bit. I was hoping Aykroyd was going to be there because they did have Jane Curtin in there, but who knows?
Was he not there? I thought maybe he'd be in the audience, but they didn't bring him out.
I don't think he was there.
No,
I understand why they showed Chevy, but they didn't have Chevy on stage because Chevy's not doing well, man.
Chevy was on stage at the very end. At the very end, they held him up.
Yeah, but they didn't have him.
Notoriously hard to handle.
Yes, well, and that was prior to his heart condition, where he almost died, and they really he lost oxygen to the brain for a while, and it's really messed with his short-term memory. Yeah. He's really got it bad, and I know this about from people that actually have worked with Chevy in the last couple of years, and are like, he's not all there anymore. Yeah. And that's sad, but it's true. But no, and apparently Jane Curtin was there, but not on camera.
I noticed that she was on camera. Bring her out for anything. Yeah.
Okay.
When you see the hold up the picture of Gilda, she's standing right there behind Garrett Morris.
Oh, man, that's a real look. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
I thought it was glad the writers. Martin Short went to go introduce Lorne Michaels, and Paul McCartney stepped in. I go, I don't think he was talking about it. He goes, and we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for this one man's dream. And then McCartney.
I think Paul McCartney did that as a joke.
He's all right. I was like, I don't think he's talking about you, Paul. Get back. Yeah. So, and Lorne Michaels didn't even crack a smile. I was like, what's up with Lorne?
That's Lorne Michaels.
He never does.
Golf face,
all hunched over.
Yep, the great stone face.
They didn't mention my man Don Pardo, who was doing that.
I know, that surprised me. I know. I was very bummed.
He was there till he was 90s. I thought Sandler would mention it in his little song because Pardo was there till he was 90-something years old. They would fly him in just for that weekend, and then he'd go back.
Yep.
Jesus.
I remember there was a great bit that he did. He wasn't even on camera, but just as the announcer. And it's then I spent the weekend with my good friend Jack Daniels, and made him going on a bender, not a bender.
Do you know that one of the head writers of Saturday Night Live's daughter actually played a hand in creating Terrificon? Did you know that?
Please tell us the story. No, please.
Alan Zweibel, who is one of the head writers, that if you see the Saturday Night movie, Lorne Michaels meets him in a bar the opening night. That happened, but not the opening night like they did in the movie. But Alan Zweibel was a writer for years on that show. And if you ever watched when they did the old commercials for Spud, this Spud's for you. And he was the guy that just had electric shock therapy, and he's half drooling, and they're drinking the beer. His daughter, I was on the phone trying to book Kevin Conroy, Batman, for the show. So I had Conroy's agency on a card because I met Kevin at New York Comic Con. He said, here, call my agent. So I called the agent, and the girl's name was, I can't remember her first name, but her last name was Zweibel. It was on the email. And I called her, and I said, perchance, are you related to the writer from Saturday Night Live, Alan Zweibel? She said, oh, that's my dad. How did you know that? I go, well, I grew up watching Saturday Night Live, and I knew your dad from that show. So we started talking about her father's career on the phone for an hour. And then at the end, I was like, well, I called you because I'm trying to get Kevin Conroy. She goes, hey, you know what? You're a good guy. Here's his number. Here's his email. There was no broker fee or anything. I just called him directly. And he's like, how'd you get my number? I was like, well, I don't want to get into it. But he showed up, and he was the first big guest I had 10 years ago when I started doing Terrificon at Mohegan Sun. So thank you, Alan Zweibel, for having a daughter who would eventually give me the contact for one of my guests that year. I only had 3 guests that year. John Wesley Shipp, who's a lovely man who's coming back this year. Ki Kwan, Academy Award winner, Short Round, Goonies, and Kevin Conroy. That's it. We only had 3 actors, and we had 20,000 people show up. So there, you don't need to have 500 actors.
Celebrities.
You're good.
Yeah.
You're good with Haley Atwell and Carl Lumley and a couple other people. You don't need to have the entire cast of Saturday Night Live there or whatever. But anyway, I digress. So there you go. That's
no.
my
If, anyone else? I have a couple SNL cast member encounters that I had. I met Chris Farley one summer night at Improv Olympic.
Oh,
They didn't have a wings before the stage, so they would literally like wait in the front area before they went on stage. And I got there late for a show, and there's Chris Farley sweating his rear end off in a blue seersucker suit. And if you wrung him, I'm sure we could have gotten like a quart of sweat from his body.
Ooh.
And he's like, "How you doing? I'm going to go on stage as soon as you sit down." I'm like, "Well, then I better get to my seat. Nice to meet you." And then, of course, 2 years ago at the aforementioned Terrificon, I had the pleasure of speaking for a very long time on Sunday afternoon with the great Anthony Michael Hall, the former
That's
SNL
right.
member.
That's right.
And then had a great conversation. I'm like, I can leave, dude. No, I'm having a good time talking
No,
to
he
you.
was
I'm
a
like,
good guy. Yeah, he's got
sweetheart of a guy.
who's going to be the new villain, spoiler alert, on Reacher season 3, which starts on the 20th, which I think is what, Wednesday?
Yeah,
That
this
is-
week.
yeah.
Something like
Yeah,
that.
Reacher. So Anthony Michael Hall, he was actually going to film Reacher when he was at Terrificon. He had to go out to Canada. That's where they filmed it. So watch it
cool.
this week. He's a good guy.
As I said, guys, we've got a lot of other TV. So if you want to, I mean, again, I don't want to.
Spider-Man wraps up this week. Did you know that?
We got Spider-Man still to talk more about. We also have Invincible we could talk about. Again, not tonight necessarily, but
Is
and
there new
Daredevil is
Invincible
starting
out?
in 2 weeks. I'm sorry.
New Invincible is out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, I
Well,
was
that's why I
disappointed.
figured-
Spider-Man season finales this
I can't-
Wednesday.
I
I'm like,
can't
I
keep up.
just got into it, man, and it's all over. That's it. 2 episodes.
Well,
Well,
no. How many episodes did they make? They had to make at least 10.
they made 10, but they
Okay.
did it like 3 and then 2 and then 3. I'm like,
Sure.
what are you doing?
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
You know why
Well,
they're
that's
doing
like-
that?
like-
'Cause Daredevil's next week. They want to get like for some reason they cleaned
Makes-
the slate.
Interesting.
and load it
Interesting.
up. Yeah.
Yeah. Why would you do? Especially given that the Spider-Man
nothing
cartoon
on
is more of a kid product.
Yeah.
And Daredevil is clearly like a hard R or whatever.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah.
That makes
And
no
they have
sense to me.
nothing. Oh well, they have the Wakanda show, which Daredevil's I think going for 10 episodes, so that'll go all the way to May, maybe April,
Oh,
May.
please don't ask me to do math. But
No, but I'm just saying. Then I think they go to the Wakanda animated show, which I thought was going to be live action, but it's animated. And then they got Ironheart. I think that's the next one.
I know Ironheart's coming. Yeah.
I don't know what happened to that Rhodey movie, Armor Wars. That's just like gone. No one mentions that anymore.
Well, that's like a lot of Star Wars and Disney and other Marvel stuff that they announced, and it's like bullshit. Sorry.
It's gone. No,
Yeah.
Star Wars. I don't know what they're doing with Star Wars anymore. What do you call has the? Well, who's the big?
I think
director
Wayne has
that-
a lineup for us. Go ahead, Wayne.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Wayne.
Ironheart is premiering June 24th.
Oh, okay, that's the summer one then.
Okay.
And then it's Phase 6 next year. Oh, no, this year. Eyes of Wakanda is August 6th. Marvel Zombies, October 30th.
Oh, I forgot about
Wonder
that.
Man, December 25th.
Wonder Man, I forgot that.
Vision Quest, sometime in 2026.
Sure.
That I know they're filming this summer because one of the actors I was trying to get can't do something because of that. So.
Oh, ChemDog on the Doctor Who front says Christopher Eccleston and Billy Piper are reuniting for a new Big Finish audios. Looking forward to that. I agree. Big Finish was
on
amazing.
On Vision Quest, the showrunner is Terry Metalis.
Yep.
Well, yeah, that we knew.
Okay.
Yep.
Sorry.
And when is Strange New
That's
Worlds,
all
Johnny? April, right? That's coming up soon.
Which one?
Season 3 of Strange New Worlds. That's coming up, right?
Yeah, they haven't announced a date yet, as far as I know, and I
thought
was
they
stunned
did.
that given the negative Section 31 response, kind of like when Picard season 2 was sucking, and they're like, "Hey, don't worry, season 3 we're gonna have the old gang back and everything." So I was surprised that they didn't announce a date yet for Strange New Worlds, but they haven't, as far as I know.
I don't leave my house very often, and I don't read a lot of the online stuff. How has the online reaction to Section 31 been? Is it really
that
bad?
good, huh?
Yeah, like even the normal. I love everything that Star Trek does. Even those people are like, "Yeah, that was a misfire." And to be kind, the very interesting thing, and I sent you guys the link. Wob Wazinski or whatever his name is, the guy who plays the mech guy in Section 31. He was just at a convention.
Yep.
I want to say it was a Star Trek convention in Baltimore, and again, he's still very, very candid about, I get why you guys didn't like it, but it still defends the broad strokes of what they were trying to do, and is part of that whole thing. Like you were saying earlier, Mitch, about Marvel fans, about Trek fans, that, it's, the old audience is dying out. We got to make it new. We got to make it different to attract the new. And again, my argument back would be Star Trek Picard had a bunch of new young people that we all enjoyed seeing and would love to see more of, but instead we're getting Legacy, we're getting Academy, and hey, thanks Terry Matalas for saving our asses with Picard. See you later. Don't let the door hit you in the ass. Clearly, I would love to talk to that guy in 10 years where it's like, yeah, those guys aren't happy with me because I basically showed them how to make good Star Trek, and they're not interested in making that kind of Star Trek anymore. Which is sad, because I don't think it's the format, guys. I don't think it's the style of Star Trek storytelling. I think it is that, again, they tried to make it too different, and in making it too different, they lost the gestalt of what Star Trek is.
The gestalt.
I know, big word. Sorry, look it up.
Hey, man.
It's a new Klingon homeworld.
I was going to go. They come from the planet Gestalt.
Gestalt or Cronkite. Go ahead.
Gestalt. Hey,
Gestalt Simonson, one of my favorites of Marvel people.
What if, you want to do a what if scenario, what if Superman tanks? What happens then?
Then they move on to the next movie and everything will be fine. Every franchise that sucks, they are one movie away from correcting it. Never move. Like Deadpool Wolverine. Yay! Good movie. Yay! Everybody came out for it. Why? Because it's a good movie. So if they screw up Superman, all right, move on to the next one.
No, because I saw Supergirl is currently being filmed as we speak.
Okay.
And then they said there's a unnamed project coming out in 2026 from DC James Gunn Studios. And I'm like, well, what do you mean unnamed? I mean, this world we live in, you can't do anything without somebody finding a production sheet. So what could it be? Batman? I don't know. He's not doing a super secret movie without anybody knowing about it. What else could it be?
No idea.
I mean, it's the DC. Green Lantern's being filmed already. That's for HBO or whatever.
Right, the series, the TV series.
Right.
Yes.
So Batman is the only thing I can think of, really.
I don't know. I don't, honestly, Mitch, I don't worry about it. I really don't, in terms of like going that far ahead. And even like now when you get the behind the scenes stories and stuff, it's like, this is where I am like, I don't need it. Thank you. You go ahead and cater to other people, because I don't care until it's time for the movie to come out, and then a TV show, and then I decide whether it's good or not.
Do you think there was an unusual amount of negative press on this Captain America movie?
I don't know, because
because I see stuff, and it was really infuriating, because I'm like,
no, I get it.
I don't know where you're coming from this. I don't know if you're coming from a fan point of view, or I don't want to say it, but I think there might be some people out there where there's an underlying either motivation or some kind of their own problems with why they don't like things. And they were like, this movie's going to be bad because of this, this, and this. I go, what are you really saying? Not the stuff you were talking about where I want a good story, this, that, but
no, I appreciate the distinction.
When I heard the word, that's not my Captain America, I was just like, guys, you know what? Look, you got to stop.
I agree. Well,
stop.
Mitch,
why you're Captain America? Not because you go, well, I don't like the suit, but I'm like, I think there was something else that was wrong with.
Oh no, there is. Well, and also it's
thinly veiled, buddy.
There are the people that genuinely are angry or disappointed and might be more aligned with what I'm saying. Then there are also the other people that hate to hate,
just hate,
and further, I think there's a segment of that hate to hate that they're like, hey, I get more eyeballs when I say something negative.
Oh yeah, no
and
doubt.
that's just, hey man, I'm sorry, that's in our politic punditry and certainly in our movie criticism ever since the digital platform has allowed for more critical voices to be out there. And yeah, a lot of them are full of it. And just, well, I hate this because, I mean, I told you, Creature Commandos, there were jerks that were like screaming about the first episode and the first 2 minutes of the first episode. And I'm like, well, the rest of the show was not as PC as you're trying to make this thing seem to be. So clearly you have an agenda where you are just spouting out more hate to engender more people that want to hate this stuff and are, looking to be, say negative things right from the get-go and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, here, Prince Parker says Rage Ball is the absolute worst. I agree. Prince, I'd like to think that, and I appreciate Mitch making the distinction, I'd like to think that my comments are coming from a writing and characterization standpoint and not just a Well, once again, this is what we're getting in everything. Matthew Whitaker says his Captain America wears glasses and a cowl.
That's right.
Interesting.
The Great White North has something to say.
Mitch, what were you talking about in untitled thing?
Because
just done.
I just saw it the other day. It said coming out in 2026. DC had an untitled film project, and I was like, "Well, what the hell could that be? The Teen Titans?" I mean,
Well, they have Clayface in 2026.
yeah, what really?
That's
Yeah.
got to be a TV show. That's got to be an
no,
animated TV.
No,
it's
it's a film.
a horror movie. It's a horror movie.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's going to be a horror movie. Yeah.
Yeah, here's the
Interesting.
films. Here's the listing of films: Superman,
Yeah.
Supergirl, World of Tomorrow, Clayface, The Authority, The Brave and the
Oh.
Bold, Swamp Thing. Then they have other films: an untitled Teen Titans, untitled Bane and Deathstroke, and a Sergeant Rock movie.
Interesting.
Oh, Sergeant Rock. That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
I heard
TV.
that the Clayface and the Swamp Thing are geared more towards the horror slant.
No
because
kidding.
horror's a big thing. Yeah.
Cool.
Huh?
For TV, Wayne?
Clay-
TV, Creature Commandos, Peacemaker that comes out in August,
Oh yeah.
Lanterns, Lanterns, then Waller, then Paradise Lost, then Booster Gold, and then other stuff, an Untitled Blue Beetle series, and then a second season of Creature Commandos.
Cool.
What's Paradise Lost? What's that?
Paradise Lost
Wonder Woman.
is
Wonder Woman?
Wonder
Oh, is it?
Woman.
Okay. All right. Oh, that's cool.
Am I right?
yeah.
Gotta be. Yeah.
No, I assumed.
This series is a political drama about the scheming and power struggles of an all-female Island in Themyscira before the birth of Wonder Woman.
Oh,
Interesting. Yeah, very interesting, given that what Kelly Sue DeConnick and company did with History.
Historia.
The, Historia.
yeah,
thank
that's
you.
right. Yeah,
Very
History or-
interesting.
No, Historia.
Yeah, Historia.
Yeah.
You got it.
that was
Prince Parker wants to know if there's an announcement for a Batman Aztec movie.
No.
I don't know what that is. Is that
I'm going to say
a
no.
video game or something?
Is that
I assumed
Batman?
it. Yeah, I don't know.
The
Yeah,
Grant
I don't know
Morrison
either.
Aztec character?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering too. If it was that
Oh,
or set in like the Aztec, jungle or whatever, I don't know.
Oh, rumors.
That's Sony Spider-Verse movie. Does that count as a Marvel thing or is that Sony?
Which
That's two
one?
different- The
Which one?
Part 3.
No.
That,
The animated movie? No.
yeah.
It's
So
not,
that's
it's not part of the Marvel universe.
Yeah,
That's
that's
Sony?
different.
All right.
Yeah.
because that still hasn't come out yet. I don't know
Correct.
where that's
I just had Bendis on asking if that was coming up, and he's like, I got no news for you. And I'm
wow,
like,
I thought they would have had that thing ready to go by now.
yeah, that's a little disappointing, frankly, because given
Right?
that the last one ended on a cliffhanger. I mean, that's the thing, man. It's like, and again, back to Brave New World, going back to Incredible Hulk. It's like, Jesus, man, way to pick up a storyline from the last two, like pre-2010, for God's sake.
Well, yeah.
I don't know.
I get
I
it.
don't
No, somebody just said it's delayed till 2028. Jesus Christ, I hope I'm still alive in 20. I'll be
Well,
62.
what I don't know what show he's talking. That King of New York is
I
talking
think he
about.
meant I thought he meant the Spider-Man picture. But
I don't know. Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Oh, yeah. There you go. King of New York. Yeah. Apparently, they haven't finished the script. for it.
wow, that's crazy shit. I mean, what the hell?
Well, again, know where you're going. Like, this is what I'm, guys, and maybe this will be great because truly, the other two Spider-Verse movies were great. But it's
They
like,
were.
what's like? Don't you know where you're going? If you're going to do a 2-part story, don't you know what? Like, I mean,
I think they do.
as a writer, Francis, don't you know where your story's going?
Absolutely, but I think animation and what they're doing with those films just visually takes time. It just takes time, man. Like those movies were just visually stunning each time. I have no issues waiting, just that I want to live long enough to be able to see
Yeah, I
them.
know.
I hear you.
But I have no issues waiting for them because they've proven themselves twice, and I don't want to question what they're doing for the third one.
The Prince says Batman Aztec was on the slate for animation with the Batman Ninja versus Justice League Yakuza movie.
Yakuza. Yeah. Wow.
Well, both pronunciations work, but thanks for playing. There you go. So, yes. And Isham, I'm not going to put your comment on it because Prince has just explained what he was talking about. So, there you go.
There you go.
All right. Well, that's
it, huh?
yeah. I can't think of anything else, guys. I want to get Pete Cack so I can watch all this SNL ancillary stuff that they've been making. And
Yeah,
I'm fascinated by
they
all
have a
that.
4-part documentary that's long as freaking hell. I
Good.
tried watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, they're hours long. They're not like 10
Great.
minutes. It's like everybody's on those.
Hi, welcome to Word Balloon.
Yeah.
you think
No,
I
put them on.
mind when something that's that long? I
I
welcome it.
literally listen to them as I'm doing my taxes because
Sure.
it goes on and on and on. It's
Sure.
a good podcast. You don't really need the visual because it's just talking heads for like 5 hours.
Cool.
Oh, there's also a TV series for behind the scenes of SNL
Yeah, that's
on
I think
show.
that's
beyond
what
the
Nick was
documentary I
describing,
was
but all right.
talking about.
You were
Yeah,
talking
they're
about.
doing,
Yeah,
doing a
they're
whole
doing
bunch.
everything SNL.
Yeah,
Oh.
they
Does both.
did all the musical stuff. They did the musical documentary. They did the live concert. Now they're doing the behind the scenes stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with the Prince. I think the anniversary special was pretty lit. I agree.
It's
So
good
so
stuff. I enjoyed
to wrap
myself.
up for Brave New World, here's my star. Like out of 4 stars, I'd give it 2.5 stars.
Ooh. Out of 4.
I'd say
Out of 4.
If we're doing out of 4, I'd say it was a 3 stars. I'd give it the
Okay.
3 stars.
I
Yeah.
give
Yeah.
3. Yeah.
Great.
All right. There you go. All right, not that different, despite my nitpicks.
Well,
Don't bring
there
up
is-
Batman again, or I'll kick
said
your
2.
ass, Wayne.
You said 2.5 stars.
You said
Yeah.
3. Since Endgame, has there been a 4-star movie?
No,
6 years ago.
no. Shang-Chi was a good 3-star. And I'd even give it 3.5 stars.
You didn't like the Spider-Man movie? I thought that was great.
Well, yeah, but much like, does that count as a Marvel movie per se?
It was a Marvel movie. It had Doctor Strange. It was
Well,
part of
and
the
you're
movie.
right, and I realize that. And I liked, all right, fine. If you want to include Spider-Man, I would agree. Yeah, No Way Home
Yeah.
is certainly. Yeah, but and I really liked Wolverine or Deadpool Wolverine, but yeah, I don't think it was a 4-star movie, but it was fun.
It was fun, but I don't know where it fits in. I was like, I guess they said, "Oh, it's going to bring everything together." I go, "Did it?" I don't know.
Guardians 3, I don't think was
Guardians
a 4. I
3
think it
was
was a
good.
3. I think it was a
Little dark.
3-star.
A little dark, but yeah.
But again, it's like, all right, that's one. All right, that's another one. And compared to the 10 plus movies and TV shows we've gotten, and as far as TV shows, Falcon and Winter Soldier is still my favorite streaming show.
WandaVision.
Yeah, I liked WandaVision enough. I kind of think it farted at the end. I think the ending was kind of like,
Yeah,
yeah. Hawkeye Christmas thing was great.
that was really good.
That was
a one.
good.
Guardians
Yeah, I
Christmas
just-
special was fun.
That
I
was
just
fun.
don't think they just were able to fire on all cylinders leading up to the Avengers movies, and they just built such, a groundswell of people wanting to see this over time that I don't think they're ever going to be able to recreate that.
No,
I mean,
But they keep
Movies-
trying to, Franco, and they
Yes.
keep trying to with a lot more product. And it's like, take your time
Well,
and make
I
better
mean,
movies.
yes. I mean, my answer to that is that they have to make a product, but yes, they should.
There you go.
Good stuff. Yeah.
that was a
Kim
good one.
Dog hit it. The best thing they've done so far.
Werewolf by
in the
Night,
news. Werewolf by
Well,
Night.
I
Hour
would
long.
I would love another one of those.
right?
I agree.
I don't know why they don't do one every Halloween. Just do like a special, like a man thing, and
Well,
then
didn't you?
They could do a
That's
Dracula.
they kind of did
yeah.
with Agatha.
yeah,
Agatha All Along came out at Halloween.
yeah.
So,
and as Marvel Zombie, I guess it's gonna be like Halloweenish thing. Yeah,
Yeah, but even Agatha, even though I liked it and I had such a huge crush on Catherine Hahn, it was maybe a little too long. It was, like you could do this Werewolf by Night was, a
One
one
movie.
done,
yeah.
done well. Like do that.
Yeah,
I would
that-
love it if they did a Deathlock and set it like an Omega Man type of setting. Just do
I would love that
one-off,
too.
like a
Machine
like a
Man.
Marvel. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be
Machine
awesome.
Man would be awesome. Like
Yes.
Kazar.
Yeah.
Yes,
Definitely
yeah. Do a junk. Do a.
Right?
Again, I haven't seen Craven, so I don't know.
No,
what they
you're
did.
not missing much on that shit.
But yeah, I would love a Tarzan-esque Kazar. Sure.
Seriously, if they really wanted to make old school guys like us, you know how Marvel Premiere was like a one and done book when you
Yeah,
were a
of
kid, they
course.
had a book, or Marvel Fanfare as well. If they just did like a yearly special, not 5 episodes or 20 episodes, just a one movie every year, like, hey, we're gonna do Kazar, we're gonna do Deathlock, we're gonna do, Jack of Hearts, just weird
Those
one off
would be-
characters.
Those would be great Disney Plus editions. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
I'm really interested in what the Daredevil series is going to do with the White Tiger, because I was expecting the Legacy White Tiger, I forget her name, that Bendis created during his Daredevil run. But at least at the beginning, and maybe something will change throughout the season, and we'll go from Hector to the Legacy White Tiger. I'm not sure, but at least for now in the trailer, that's Hector, and I forget Hector's last name, the original White Tiger.
Well, here's a bigger problem. The actor died.
I didn't know that.
The actor died. He finished his scenes and he died. So
wow,
he's not coming back. And
I understand that, but I wonder
if they don't recast, what are they going to do? The guy's literally.
Well, we'll see what is. We'll see what. I mean, we don't know for this matter if the Kingpin kills him in the first season. For that matter, you know, the character.
They don't have to take his mask off.
That's true too. We'll see.
I heard that Finn Jones. Somebody said he wanted to come back as Iron Fist. I go, I don't think that's ever happening.
Yeah, it wasn't that good.
He's a nice.
That really
kid.
bummed me out because I love that character, and it's like, they blew it with Finn Jones, unfortunately.
Luke Cage was cool.
Loved it. Fantastic series. No, most of
the actor.
Most of the Netflix.
The actor in Evil, and he's amazing in Evil.
Michael Coulter, yeah, nice.
Yeah,
guy.
He's great. He's great. You get him at Terrificon sometime.
I've tried, and Kristen Ritter's good too. She was Jessica Jones.
And in fact, King of New York just said that Luke and Jessica need to come back. I agree.
Oh yeah, maybe they will be. We'll have to see.
I saw something with Kristen Ritter online, and she was in the gym or something like that. You know, showing off like her working out, and there were rumors about.
Boy, oh boy,
what is she doing? What is she doing?
Boy, I'd like to.
She just wrote a book or something. I think she's doing that.
She's a lovely woman.
Maybe that's why she's working out then.
Great Jessica Jones and a lovely woman. Both are true.
She's on some show, some kind of witch show or something, isn't she? Whatever.
Oh, I don't know about a new show. I remember she was the bee in on the second floor or whatever back in the day. The ABC sitcom.
Oh yeah.
You could say it. That was the name of it.
That was the name of it. The Bee.
The Bee. No, wasn't it the whole name, or the Bee in Apartment 23? Or
Prince Parker. Interesting comment. He says the TV show should be the testing grounds for characters. Then you give them a movie, as opposed to throwing darts at the box office. Yes and no. I think if your premise is strong enough, you don't need a TV series to start with. You know. Yes.
Mitch, were you thinking about Orphan Black Echoes?
Yes, I knew she was on something. Yeah, she was
That's
on
not a witch show, but yeah. Yeah, the Orphan Black. I mean, I like the original. I didn't. Wayne, did you stay with the reboot?
Yeah.
Was it good?
I liked it, and you also want to listen to the audio drama because it fills in the in-between time between the end of Orphan Black and Orphan Black Echoes.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Wayne. I don't have that much time in my life.
Exactly.
Do you have a dog?
Really?
No, Franco. Do you have a dog?
I think so, somewhere.
Do you walk the dog?
No, I don't.
Oh,
not my job. There you go.
All right,
not my job.
That's where I listen to. Real quick, if you're looking for old time stuff like Johnny does, Amazon Prime, if you have it, a lot of people do. I just found the Ray Bradbury show. Remember that from the 80s? That's
yes,
on
I do.
6 seasons. And
decent anthology Canadian show.
On it. Yeah, Shatner was on it. I watched that one and a couple other ones. Peter O'Toole is on that.
He's on the Banshee, which is the Ray Bradbury. That's the Ray Bradbury story about John Huston, the director, because Ray Bradbury wrote the script for Moby Dick, and he had to go to Ireland to write at John Huston's house, and he said he bullied me the entire time, and so his revenge was writing the short story The Banshee, and Peter O'Toole plays a John Huston director who gets his comeuppance from the Irish beast, The Banshee.
Yeah. Oh, so
Great
whether
stuff.
they're on, I don't. They may have been on there for a long time. I just stumbled across it because it's a rabbit hole. You find one thing, and then they go, "You might like this." And a weird show I never knew existed till last week. David McCullum and Joanna Lumley in like these half-hour British. I guess you want to call them Twilight Zone. I don't know what the hell they are, but it's like got two words. I can't think of it. Like
Sapphire and Steel.
That's right, Sapphire and Steel.
I don't know what the hell this came from. I never heard of it until last week.
Well, it was during that 80s Doctor Who period of British sci-fi.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, it was 80s. Oh, all right. Yeah. I thought it was earlier. All right.
Yep.
There's a lot of cool stuff if you want to go.
We already said it, but King of New York wanted to know, are we excited for Thunderbolts or Fantastic Four? Yes. Yep. I believe all four of us are.
Yeah.
I'm more excited for the 4 versus Thunderbolts is going to be cool. I really want Fantastic Four to wow me.
I went back and watched the Fantastic Four from a couple years ago. I told Franco because I haven't seen it in the years.
Fan
10
Four
years.
Stick.
And forced
It's
it,
not
yeah.
so bad if you don't think of it as a Fantastic Four, like a sci-fi channel.
Well,
it's okay,
that's-
and then it
that's-
goes off the rails.
That's-
yeah.
Doom.
That's
I
like
said that
Discovery.
before. It's not.
That's
it's
like
not
Star
a
Trek
bad
Discovery.
movie, but it's not Fantastic Four.
Right.
No, and the funny thing is the actor is it Michael Teller or Peller?
Miles Teller.
Miles Teller. He was on like the Today Show, and they go, "We're going to show the the new clip of the new Fantastic Four trailer." And they go, "Well, coming up next, Miles Teller is in his new thing," and he's just sitting there, and I'm like, "Wait a minute, wasn't he the guy that was Mr. Fantastic?" And they asked him, they go, "Weren't you?" And he goes, "Yeah, I don't want anybody ever to do bad. I'll go see it. It looks interesting." But how do you think he feels? Like, yeah, I was supposed to be the star of a big.
He was on Saturday Night Live last night.
He
Yes,
was. That's right. Yeah, they brought
they
him out.
interviewed
Yeah.
him.
Isn't
Yeah,
it? It's a shame because the guy who directed Fan Four Stick, as we like to call it, was that
John
guy
Trank.
Josh Trank, who also made the Chronicle movie. That's a great movie, and I
That's a
stand by
good
that
one.
movie till the cows come home. Great idea, well executed. And then I don't know what the hell happened to him on Fantastic Four. I don't think we ever will. And will he ever make another movie? I don't think so.
No, he went out and trashed it, if I remember, because I remember Kevin Smith interviewed him, and he was saying the movie sucked. I'm like, you don't do that. And then Disney or whoever owned it, Fox, was like,
So did they? So because I remember that's when I would listen every week to Kevin Smith's podcast.
Yeah.
And no disrespect to Kevin, but this is where I'm like, all right, man, you're more shill than an honest critique broker because he's like, all right, Josh and I recorded this interview about the movie, and the movie's not doing so well, so I don't think I'm going to release this conversation. And it's like, why? Because you were kissing his ass, telling him how great of the movie was when it actually sucked. Listen, I really like Kevin Smith. I think he's ridiculously funny. I like most of his movies, but when it comes to being a critic, he's a shill. He is a paid shill.
he does
And
get accused of that a lot.
Well, I'm sorry. I think the evidence is when he likes every movie, including both versions of the Justice League movie.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm sorry, man. You're a shill. You suck. You suck as a critic. So,
you really think he's getting money though from the studios, or he's just doing that?
no, I don't think directly for the positive things. I do think he's in business with Warner Brothers, as he was during all those movies, and would make things like, remember they did the big on the CW during the superhero shows. They had that half hour with Jeff Johns, and we got Jeff, and also I hate his magic hands that he does whenever he's on TV. We got Jeff Johns to talk about this stuff, and it's like, talk like a human being, would you please? And then God bless Jeff. I love Jeff, but it's like, hey, we got Jeff. Jeff, how's that Justice League thing? Oh, it's a great movie, and we're really excited about it. And it's like, oh, Jeff, it's like, man, all right, Human Torch on Kevin Smith's side, and Beyond Mr. Freeze on poor Johns' side. So I don't know, but yeah, he's always been up DC and Marvel and Warner Brothers' ass. Sorry,
DC, yeah,
and Marvel for them too.
Yeah,
I like everything, and it's like, yeah, well, then if you like everything, then your opinion really isn't that
you actually
good.
do a good voice impression of him there for a Brit. You had that growl in your throat there. Hey,
Well,
kid!
and I hate all of his selfie pictures. He's always got that like shocked look on his face. It's like, all right. And again, I'm sorry, you're almost 60, buddy. Put some pants on, please. Stop wearing the 3/4 shirt. Of course he is. He's only a couple years younger than me. Bull. Obviously, Mitch angling to get Kevin Smith.
I've already had Kevin Smith at my show. I talked to Kevin a bunch of.
You're gonna have to tell me about that.
I was on Comic Book Men. You go watch that show. I'm on it.
King of New York. I love this. You got to be honest with people and tell them their work sucks so they can learn. Well, you don't have to say it in their faces, but I do think there's nothing wrong with an honest broker saying, this is why this movie did not work for me. And that's all I'm trying to say about the Section 31 movie and my little issues with Brave New World. What do you got, Wayno?
He's 54.
That's what I said. 54.
I don't believe that. I think he's older.
Is.
I don't. I
He's
do.
born
I'm sorry.
August 2nd, 1970.
I think he lies about his age. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, again, they can get away with it for a couple of years. They can
I
take a
lie
couple
about
years
my
now.
age. I'm 32.
Sure you do. I'm
Are
39.
you voting right now?
You look
Huh?
really bad for 32.
I know. Oh, I was. There's another somebody.
He's got the gloves on
Yeah.
too, not just the costume. He's got the red gloves on too.
I can
Go
only
on.
find one, so I've been hiding the other one. Anyway,
What's going on right
so
now?
what I do
Michael
is
Jackson of Captain America.
I've been switching hands for a while, so it's special
He,
effects.
he
They'll
likes
never
to feel
know.
like he's two different people.
That's right.
No, and now you got to have
No,
you got to have the
I-
bear arm come up and strangle you like Belushi would do on Weekend Update.
there you go. That's the one.
Ah, ah.
I don't know. There was some pointless thing I was going to say, but whatever. It doesn't make a difference. No one gives a shit. Yeah, that's about it.
All right. That's
Did you watch
fine.
4:30 movie, Kevin Smith? Did you watch that one? The newest one?
No,
he's
I
in?
haven't. Is it good?
It's entertaining, yeah. In a
You
Kevin
know,
Smith kind of way.
I'd appreciate the nostalgia of it and everything. I was.
It is. That's it. Yeah, it's a nostalgia thing. Like, oh look,
One of my is in it.
Well,
Who?
who's in it?
Mike White's in it.
Yeah.
Our friend
Mike
Mike
White?
White. Oh, he comes to all the conventions. We
Okay.
know him. You
Oh,
probably
yeah,
know him too.
Yeah, you probably know him. He's with Mike McCone.
Yeah.
Oh.
Jim
He's in that little
Calipari.
circle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice guy. Nice
Oh, he's
guy.
like their helper.
Yeah, well, he's a
Well,
fan guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all right. Very nice. All right. Well,
Also,
we may
everybody-
reconvene.
Also,
What? What?
I have a new weekly article on 13thdimension.com that everybody should read. It's called
Mhm.
Free for All Franco Fridays. So, yeah, go read it. It's free.
Very good.
Read it.
It's free.
Tomorrow on Word Balloon, I got Matt Fraction and Terry Dodson
Oh,
coming
Terry
on to talk about
Dodson.
Adventure Man.
Terry
Oh,
Dodson,
I
who was
picked up
just
that
at
trade.
that show last year.
I just picked
Yes,
up
he
that
was.
trade. I haven't read it yet.
Adventure Man?
Great series of books.
What was I going to say? Oh, by the way, Carrie Gamble will be coming to Terrificon this August. Very first time ever here. And Terry Moore will be coming.
Oh.
Strangers in Paradise, Terry Moore will be coming to the show.
I like
so
Terry
you get
Moore
a
a
little
lot.
sneak preview. Yeah.
I like Terry Moore a lot too. That'll
And
be
Doug
awesome.
Jones, who I haven't announced yet, so you get to hear this before I do it, because him and John are going to have a
you
Jello wrestling match, because it's going to be he's going to wear the Saru outfit, and
I love
John's
it.
going to wear his like,
I will have
Thong,
nothing.
and they're
I
going to
love-
fight each other with
Nope.
their bat list.
No, much like Ethan Peck and Celia
Celia Rose Gooding.
Rose Gooding. Thank you. I will treat them with nothing but kindness. Should I get to do the Doug Jones panel? And because I was nothing. Because again, Doug Jones is a brilliant actor,
He's a great
and
guy.
and I will not bore him with my frustrations with that show because it's not his fault. He was excellent. Saru was a great character that was just again mishandled, I think, by that creative team. But that's me. What do I know? There you go, John. If I ever make it big in the space, I'd love to chop it up with you about stuff. Well, good luck to you, Prince. Let us know what's happening in your world in terms
Chop it
of
up. Yeah.
the stuff
it
you
up.
make, and we can chop it up.
Chop it up.
I would love that. I respect the young people talking to me in their lingo.
I was going to say, is that what kids say nowadays? Chop it up?
He
I
said
gotta
he's
ask my
like,
kid that.
I think he said he was in his early 30s, so he's not that young. So
I think serial killers say that a lot.
I was thinking, I thought about that. I'm thinking of cocaine. I'm like, what are you like chopping it up with a
Hilarious.
credit card?
Sincerely yours, Jeffrey Dahmer. Hey, he sounds like a nice guy. Maybe I'd like to talk to him sometime.
Maybe you should.
I like to chop chop it up with you, Johnny. Yeah.
We're going to chop you up. That's like the Hans and Franz.
Kevin Nealon.
Come
Rich
on.
Porcelone.
Yeah, where was Kevin Nealon last? Kevin Nealon last
He
night.
was not there. He was in the
That
crowd.
for a fact?
No, he was in the audience, but he wasn't.
Okay.
On
Yeah, he wasn't on camera. Okay, I wasn't sure if he was there, period. Again, if I didn't say it, and again, flying in the face of my too many women comment, Anna Gassmeyer, MVP for how many different things, both in the musical episode
Yes.
and last night. Man, and good for her. I love her. She's one of my favorite people on that show.
Yeah.
And I think it gets left off of a lot of best of cast member lists, and it's
She's
a long
on,
list.
She's on Broadway a lot.
Yes, she is.
She can
Mhm.
belt
Well,
down.
'cause
the
she can
tune
sing.
too.
Yeah. Well, again, when she and Will Ferrell are the music teachers, that always get root-toot-toot-toot. She was hilarious.
One last thing in Saturday Night Live. What the character with the big forehead and the weird little arms?
Denise.
Jane, yeah,
Was
yeah,
that
Denise.
I never knew. Was that another sketch? I didn't know who.
Oh
that
yeah,
was.
long running.
Kristen Wiig.
What's her
I haven't
face?
watched it.
Kristen
Face.
Witt. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh no,
look
and with
them
the
up.
with
Some
the
of them are-
with the,
yeah.
with the baby hands.
Some
Yeah,
are very
baby
funny.
hands.
Yeah, some are very
Okay.
funny.
She
Yeah.
didn't come out that
Especially
whole
with the
tune, not the
cast, I
other
was like,
one. It's like, what? What is
And I'm Tunis. Yeah, no, she's great.
You know, the one thing that bothered me through all that, and I understand kind of why, but the Kim Kardashian, like, did they
Yeah,
need
why
to
would she
have
do
her there? Of all the people they could have had, Kim Kardashian.
I know it should have been another cast member.
right? I was like, why is she here? And they
And
go, she
also-
hosted. I go, "Hmm."
And listen, I love that Scarlett is kind of adjacent to the show because of Colin and
Right.
everything.
Yeah,
But man, they gave Scarlett a shit ton to do too.
they did.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's so fun. I didn't even recognize Kardashian right away until whoever said it about Kardashian, and I'm like,
Yeah,
oh yeah, that's it. Because I'm
Will
like,
Ferrell, yeah. She's
yeah,
a
I
Kardashian.
was confused. I was confused by that too. But no, you're right. It should have been another cast member. They really should have. So
Yes.
too funny. All right, there we go. That's what we know, everybody, and that's our story. We're sticking to it.
Follow us when you see us.
Follow us when you see us. Again, guys, depending on your schedule, I'm happy to reconvene next week because there certainly is a lot to talk about. And if not, certainly in a week or so, we'll certainly start talking about Daredevil when it's up and
if we're
running.
meeting next week, give me a list of stuff I need to watch.
March
And
4th.
I forget.
Oh, I would say Invincible, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Damn, now I have a to-do list. All right.
All right, there's two.
Well, you got all that time.
Exactly.
I ain't got no time.
No time left for you on my way to better things. There's some Canadians for you, Wayno.
Well,
guess so.
no,
I'll
if
give
you
you a
want to
lowdown
be
of
truly
everything I'm doing.
Canadian, this Thursday,
What happens?
Canada versus U.S.
Oh yeah.
in the Four Nations tournament.
Oh
Uh-oh.
my. Oh.
Well, that'll be the last this ever happens because you're going to be our 51st state, buddy.
Yeah, we're looking forward to you joining the union, Wayno.
Welcome
I'll
to
be
the
the
team.
first one on the lines of the rebellion.
To emigrate, to emigrate and leave the country.
rebellion. I will start the underground.
Like somebody else said, how do you get Canada mad at you? Well,
I don't know.
meet our
It's like-
president. Have a seat with our president. Because truly, like I saw John Oliver. Boy, I like the helmet. Well, way to go, Mitch.
I've had
John
it all
Oliver
night.
last night on his HBO show
Yeah.
was playing. They were doing the Star Spangled Banner at a hockey game, and it was great because not only did they boo, but they waited for our flag was still there or our flag yet wave, and that's when they started booing. And that's John Oliver's like, you got to love the Canadians. Not only are they booing, but they're booing. They waited for the right moment to boo, and it's like, yeah, absolutely. And he's like, how do you get the Canadians mad at you? Well, ask our president. He found a way. Unbelievable. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Follow us when you see us. Take care. Bye-bye, everybody.